looking for the right turn to make all the change you make. If you really want right, just hold on tight and I'll take it to the place to be. Do you know what today is? It's our hidden history. Our hidden history. Do you know what today is? Our hidden history. Tell me, do you know? Time running is a maze. All the things you can learn in short space, but the time's still running, don't let it waste. Yeah, you can learn with me, cause when I'm reading, oh, it's so amazing, so amazing. I flip the page, I see you written down again and again. I'm humble and I'm hawking it, that if you will today, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, follow me, follow me, to the Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, follow me, to the Saturday. Then we go and keep it holy and make it to the next day. Do you know what today is? It's our hidden history. Do you really wanna know? Well, I really wanna know, yeah. Cause there's a place so amazing with all the things I really wanna know, yeah. I've been driving all night, looking for the right turn to make all the change you make. If you really want right, just hold on tight and I'll take it to the place to be. Do you know what today is? It's our hidden history. Our hidden history. Do you know what today is? Our hidden history. Tell me, do you know? Time running is a maze. All the things you can learn in short space, but the time's still running, don't let it waste. Yeah, you can learn with me, cause when I'm reading, oh, it's so amazing, so amazing. I flip the page, I see you written down again and again. I'm humble and I'm hawking it, that if you will today, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, follow me, follow me, to the Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, follow me, to the Saturday. Then we go and keep it holy and make it to the next day. Do you know what today is? It's our hidden history. Do you really wanna know? Well, I really wanna know, yeah. Cause there's a place so amazing with all. Do you know what today is? Tell me, do you know? Time running is a maze. All the things you can learn in short space, but the time's still running, don't let it waste. Yeah, you can learn with me, cause when I'm reading, oh, it's so amazing, so amazing. I flip the page, I see you written down again and again. I'm humble and I'm hawking it, that if you
Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless, Most High in Christ bless. Welcome then, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back to another edition of what?
Our Hidden History Radio Show.
All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High, Israel. So if you've been tuned in with us, we've been going over Negro history in Egypt, or even who are the ancient Egyptians. Like I said, this first started out with Kevin Hart making a statement saying that the original Egyptians or the ancient Egyptians are black, and there's been a media outcry with the Arabs in Egypt saying that the Egyptians were never black and never will be black. You even have some people, some communities argue that the ancient Egyptians are Caucasian because of whitewashing or iconoclasm. They play it in your movies. You have 10 Commandments with Charlton Heston. They show Moses to be not only be white, but also the ancient Egyptians to be white. So this is one of the deceptions that's been being portrayed in earth. And that's why, like I said, anytime we see any lies or anybody trying to stand up for some type of truth, even though we don't agree with everything they teach or what they believe in or what they represent, we stand for truth.
Right.
So that's what we're going to touch on. And today we're going to journey into ancient Negro or Negro history in ancient Egypt. So let's start with Exodus chapter 11, verse 7 real quick. Because the misconception is you have a lot of people within the Kemetic community or Egyptologists will say that the original Negroes were Egyptian, and they glorify King Tut, Moses, or Nefertiti, Hatshepsut. So all of these Egyptian pharaohs, because black people, when you don't have a sense of identity, you have a tendency to take on the identity of anybody that has some type of relevance or importance because of what society has portrayed us as. So that's what black people are looking for. We're looking for a sense of identity, something that's to encourage us and empower us, but they're looking in the wrong direction, where the Bible gives us our identity, our empowerment, as well as our culture.
That's right.
All right? So Exodus 11, verse 7.
Exodus chapter 11, verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue.
So the Bible says, God says, against any of the children of Israel. So if you've been following us, we provided many artifacts, many evidence, many war relics of the ancient Egyptians, or even the hieroglyphs, the ancient Egyptians being black. And if you think that, like I said, we just showed just the basics. We went into the war relics with, or the mosaics, with Abraham, Isaac, as well as Joseph and the children of Israel coming into Egypt in caravans. And they were all black. Black art, Negro art. Go on.
Against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord hath put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
There is a difference, a differentiation between the Israelites as well as the Egyptians. Why would the Bible say that the Lord had put a difference between Israel and the Egyptians? For him to do that, there has to be a similarity. Mm-hmm. What is a similarity? Skin tone. Let's go back over that real quick. Like I said, we are doing a brief recap before we get in depth into the lesson. Exodus chapter 2, verse 17 real quick. And get the picture of Moses.
Exodus chapter 2, verse 17. And the shepherds came and drove them away. But Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock.
Go on.
And when they came to Reuel, their father, he said, how is it that ye are come so soon today? And they said, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds.
Now, Moses was an Israelite. He was a Hebrew from the tribe of Levi. So they confused Moses and said, an Egyptian deliver us out of the hand. So Moses, evidently, we prove with facts and evidence that the Egyptians were black, melanated, dark people. That's why Egypt is on what continent? The continent of Africa. A black continent. I don't care if you have Arabs living in Egypt. I don't care if you have Arabs living in Libya. I don't care if you have Caucasians, British, living in South Africa. Africa is a black continent. It has always been a black continent. Now, let's go to the book, Southern literary messenger.
You want the picture of Moses real quick?
Yeah, you can bring up Moses. So let's show what Moses looked like. Because Moses was a deliverer.
They can see it on the screen.
Mm-hmm. Black. Undeniable evidence. And right beside him, you have King David.
Black.
One of the mightiest king that reigned over Israel. Black.
And look what he got his hand, Cap, the burning bush.
The burning bush, exactly. So, and look at the royal priestly garments. The way they dressed was majestic. And like I said, and that's why there's a media blackout on the Israelites and the information that we're bringing out. And many of these books that we're bringing out were written by, like I said, for white eyes only, was written by their scholars and collected by their archaeologists. Now, let's go to the book.
Hey, real quick,
Yes.
Cap. I have OHH to thank. Before I wasn't really into digging and to researching books and everything, but I did come across a book that I can't even disclose the name of this book. We found an ancient image of one of our forefathers. I think this one is a Levi. Could you pull that up for me, man, please?
Does it say he was Levi?
The features, you know how you could tell the features.
No,
So,
I'm just asking. Like, if we're gonna bring something out, you gotta have evidence that's from the tribe of Levi.
Listen, I'm going into it. Like I said, I'm inspired.
Okay,
so
go
hopefully,
ahead.
by the end of the
let's sit back on
segment-
this one.
Yeah, we're gonna sit back on this. So we're gonna drink our tea. Go ahead.
Yo, go ahead.
Floor is yours.
Play that right here. I'm saying. See this one right here? It's one of our forefathers, you know what I'm saying? As you can see, the garments, you know what I mean? That's definitely like a Levi forehead, right?
They got an ashy face.
That's an icon. That's an icon.
Definitely, bro.
Hey,
I think it's from the Russian
Yo,
catacombs.
you know what that looks like? When I went to Haiti, they had all that white paste on their face. That's what that looked like.
That's not
Hey,
Hey,
I don't know. You gonna say the same thing about Moses, Cap? I don't know.
That's a Hamite. That was a Hamite.
Other hand, Mike.
So yeah, it just showing y'all, we digging into the books.
Oh, he whitewashed.
Yeah.
Whitewashed.
That's what that was. They tried to whitewash that one, Cat. That's all that
Hold
was.
on, yo, is that your mom's drip, bro?
He's
Is that
sick.
your wife's drip,
Bro,
bro?
what are you talking about?
That's your wife's drip, bro.
Well, let's get back to the lesson. You deviating right now. Let's get back to the lesson.
I'm just asking, man.
Let's get back to the lesson, bro.
Hey, for those of y'all that's looking for that particular page that was just posted, it's on no page.
.com to be released.
You crazy.
I like that.
It's funny. All right, let's go to the book. Let's go to the first page.
All right, so this is the Southern Literary Messenger. What year is this? Blow that up. Blow that year up. We need to see that. 1860. White eyes only. All right. So like Cap said, we're doing a recap. Go to the first page. Where you want to start from, Cap?
Yep, let's start there.
Just dig in? All right. Yes, sir. All right. The subject of this lecture is the Negro races. It is not of institution of domestic slavery as it exists in the southern states and elsewhere, but simply of the Negro races considered ethnologically. I wish, by tracing them...
So when it says ethnologically, it's going into the culture and society of man. Go on.
I wish, by tracing them through the Egyptian monuments and the historic period, to fix, as nearly as may be, their place in the scale of animated beings. That difference of color...
Now let's
Go
to
to
the next one. Yep.
second column, sorry.
Expand it. Yep. Right there.
Go down to the bottom. I want to see, go down to the bottom all the way at the very, that word before races. All right. Yeah, right there. Now, we have the history of the Negro races for a long time, for at least 3,500, and indeed, in a certain sense, for more than 4,000 years.
So this is and know what's the funny thing? We always say that Moses, like I said, the Exodus was about 4,000 years ago. And it's showing you the Negro history was about 4,000 years ago. So we're reading about the history of the Israelites. That's the same time period that Moses made a deliverance of the ancient Israelites out of the land of Egypt. So the history coincides. Go on.
For there exists unquestionable proofs of their presence in Egypt under the 12th dynasty, extending back to the 23rd dynasty before our era. But the earliest actual portraits of the race, which we possess, relate to the 17th century before Christ. And from this period, therefore, I prefer to date their history. From this period, there is an abundance of monumental evidence bearing upon and illustrating that history, beginning with the 17th century and extending throughout the whole monumental period. We have innumerable delineations of the Negro in the mural paintings and sculptures of the Egyptian temples and palaces.
Go on.
Complexion, features, expression, these and every other attribute of the race, if modern archaeologists are to be credited, are depicted precisely as we are accustomed to see them in our daily walk.
So, I want you to understand, the same faces that you see on a daily basis, when you turn to the left, when you turn to the right, when you see your brothers and sisters, the archaeologists are saying, the scholars are saying that the same Negroes that we see walking around America today, there's no difference from the depictions on ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. It's the same people walking around today. When you look the same features. The only difference is you just put us in different clothing article. That's it.
From 4,000 years ago, Cap.
Yeah.
We the same people today from 4,000 years ago.
Exactly. So just the only difference from each captivity is just the clothing that we wear.
Wow.
I'll say it again. The only difference from each captivity is us taking on the clothing of that captivity, us taking on the clothing of that culture. When we go to the Moors, what do we dress like? We more so Arab clothing attire. Right. Under Europe, we wear suits and ties and tight pants, and women wear pants as well, because that's under the European culture. We adopt their customs, their attire, their laws, their language, every attribute about them. That's why in the book of Maccabees chapter 6, it says, and they conform to the manner of the Gentiles. To conform means to take on all manners of attributes, their gods and everything about them.
We don't have, I don't think we have the book, but in the book Image of the Black and Western Art, from the Pharaohs to the Greek captivity, do we have that?
Yeah, that's what we're going to.
No, but I'm saying, as far as us, I don't know if Cap going to touch it, but we have pictures of us in the Greek captivity, of us dressed in the garb, like Cap was saying, you know?
Oh, yeah, that's going to be for another time.
Yes, sir.
Another lesson. All right.
Cap, could we also throw in there, too, likewise, our name was changed in these captivities?
Yes.
We weren't keeping our true names. Like, way back on the shows, on the previous Hidden History shows, we went into where the names that Esau has taken was actually our names.
Exactly.
They took our names and took our identity and give us these other names. They called us barbarians, all types of stuff, you know?
Oh, we're going to get in depth into all of that. I mean, when I said we're going to go very well so in depth, we're going to go and expose every lie being put out there. All right? Let's go on.
Indeed, we are told that we are told that were we to judge from the drawings alone, we might suppose them to have been delineated but yesterday. And moreover, as if to enforce the distinction of race by direct contrast, the Negro is placed side by side with people of the purest Caucasian features.
Go on.
The first question, which naturally suggests itself in connection with these monumental evidences, is, can we glean anything from them illustrating the social position of the Negro in these remote ages?
So evidently, obviously, he says, wait a minute, okay, based upon, remember, a picture, a painting speaks 1,000 words. They always say that.
Yes, sir.
So art imitates life. Based upon the war relics, the hieroglyphs, ancient Egyptian art, it always tells a story. They have different shapes, figures, and symbols that told their story. That's how they documented their records back during that time period. Now today we have records, or they have scrolls, or they have books, and they document the records of each nation. But the Egyptians, the way they documented was on hieroglyphs. That's why you have somebody called Francois La Champollion, which during Napoleon's time period, he went and translated the Rosetta Stone, which was pretty much the catalyst in order to decipher all the hieroglyphs. And that's why they could speak on these things. So he was a forerunner of this. It was a French decipherer. Go on.
Their position relatively to the other races in the times of the pharaohs. Upon this point, I feel I am authorized to say that the proofs are both abundant and conclusive. Detail here would be out of place. The result, as established by the best authority to which the monumental evidence invariably tend, is that the social position of the Negro race in Egypt 3,500 years ago was substantially the same that it is now in the United States.
It's the same social position of that in the United States. It's never been one point of history. Officer LaQuart brought that earlier. Give me that real quick. No, actually, we're going to wait. It's the same position that in the United States, meaning we always been slaves from the dawn of time. From our resurrection as a nation. We always been in this servitude, in a position of a slave, because we're the only race of people that have been held accountable to the highest standards, by the standards of God. Because why? God gave us the law, statutes, commandments. And based upon our actions, our choices that we made, decided the future that we live. And that's why our slavery has never changed. The people yesterday are the people today. Can we get that real quick in Ecclesiastes chapter 1? It says the same social position.
When you're done that, I just want to throw in
sir.
one definition, Captain, if you don't mind.
Yep.
All right, all praises.
Ecclesiastes 1,
9.
verse 9.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9. The thing that has been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun.
So there is no new thing under the sun. Can you give me chapter 6, verse 10? And the reason why the thing that has been is the things that shall be, because it's the same people repeating the same actions and having the same results based upon the actions they commit. Read.
Ecclesiastes chapter 6, verse 10. That which has been is named already, and it is known that it is man.
So it's known that it is man. So the thing that hath been is the thing that shall be, meaning man that was in the past is man that's going to be in the future. They always have a saying, a cliche saying, that history repeats itself. It's not so much history repeats itself, because history doesn't really hold anything that's, what is the word I'm looking for? It's history is not something, it's not matter. It's not, history is not like people. History doesn't have memory. It's people that have memory.
It's not tangible.
Thank you. It's not tangible. Humans repeat the same actions. These are tangible actions. So when it says history repeat itself, it's not so much history is repeating itself, it's the people repeating the same actions that they did in the past, in the future. Now, let's go back. You wanted to bring out a definition?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The literature stated the social position identified these people in every captivity, right? Let's look. I sent it to you. Let's read the definition of the word ghetto.
Ghetto, a quarter of a city in which Jews were formerly required to live.
So that alone in itself tells you who the Jews supposed to be. What are their features? What are the issues they deal with? Because today, the Jews are not considered to be living in the ghetto, or are they considered to be ghetto? It's usually the Negroes that has that classification.
Yep.
Read on.
A quarter of a city in which members of a minority group live, especially because of social, legal, or economic pressure.
That's what they call us, minorities. When they speak of minorities, they're not speaking about Amlak. They're not speaking about the so-called Jews. Read on.
Number 3, an isolated group. A situation that resembles a ghetto, especially in conferring inferior status or limiting opportunity.
Which is us. We never have equal rights. We were always fighting for justice. Read.
Go ahead.
Scroll up. Scroll. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Of relating, ghetto.
Now, this is funny, right? Just that first part.
Of relating to, being, are characteristic of a ghetto. See ghetto, entry 1, sense 2, are the people who live there. Ghetto, youth, music, ghetto, neighborhoods. Features that, according to E. Jones, are often shamed and seen as ugly, ghetto, or unprofessional when on black people, but suddenly became desirable and attractive when on a white person.
You see what I'm saying?
On black.
So if you call the Amalekites ghetto right now, it'll be attractive. It'll be a good thing to be a ghetto. You know what I mean? But on us, it's our social economy, how we live, how we were treated in every damn captivity. We was on the worst quarters of that area. And still today, like you said, Cap, in America, it's still the same thing.
Nothing changed.
Because undesirable.
Yep, exactly.
I go back to with that they wanna act like us, but they don't wanna be us.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Even with the music, you got everybody. Ishmael, you got Amalekites, all of them doing drill, trap music right now.
Yep.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yep.
They want to take the culture, they want to take the music, but they don't want to be us, really.
Exactly.
Hey, Cap, can I bring this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Back to what you were saying concerning the people doing the same thing over and over. In Jeremiah 2, verse 14.
Jeremiah chapter 2,
And
verse
that's
14.
a result of us doing the same thing over and over.
Yep.
And the Lord asked Jeremiah this question. Read.
Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 14. Is Israel a servant?
And when you look at it, every society, Israel is always a servant. Why? Because you keep breaking God's law. We don't?
Is he a homeborn slave?
Right.
Why is he
So
spoiled?
that's the question. Well, how come every society you go, from generation to generation, the Israelites are always on a servitude level? We're always serving as slaves. It's because we kept doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah. The curses is a sign on us. It's a sign on us.
Exactly.
I don't know if you're going to touch back on that, Cap. What you had said last week was very heavy, was that everywhere Israel was in captivity, that particular nation prospered.
Yeah.
And this is why they don't want to let us go.
No,
they
they
don't want
don't.
to tell you who we are.
No, they don't want to let us go. And that goes back to Isaiah chapter 14. You can read that real quick, Isaiah chapter 14, to touch base on that real quick, and then we're going to go back to the book. Isaiah 14, verse, I believe, is 17.
Verse 17. That made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners.
So Esau, the so-called white man, did not want to open the house of his prisoners. We are prisoners in America. They don't want to open our house because why? We make America great. We make America, think about it. They said, let's make America great again. The only time period America was so-called great in white eyes is when they had us in chattel slavery.
Right.
Because why? We made America the world's superpower economic machine that it is today. Off of free slave labor. Europe. We made we made Europe rich. Everywhere we went, we made that a prospering nation. And anytime we left, it fell as a nation. Now, let's go back to the book. Jez, let's pick back up.
Yes, sir. It says, the result, as established by the best authority to which the monumental evidence invariably tend, is that the social position of the Negro race in Egypt 3,500 years ago was substantially the same that it is now in the United States. On the walls of Karnak, Luxor, Tentyra, and the other tombs which stood the valley of the Nile from Cairo to the cataracts, are still to be seen the triumphal and religious procession of the early pharaohs. In these processions.
Now, notice how it makes a clear distinction between the Negroes as well as the early pharaohs. Because black people have the tendency to take on those titles. Oh, we were the pharaohs of Egypt. No, history says otherwise. That we was always relegated to the position of servitude, and we were actually in these religious processions. Go on.
In these processions, Negroes frequently appear, and whenever they do, always, I believe, in relations of inferiority to other races.
In these processions says what? Read it again.
I believe in these processions, Negroes frequently appear.
Negroes, I want to show you something real quick. In these processions, Negroes frequently appear doing what?
Frequently appear, and whenever they do, always, I believe, in relations of inferiority to other races, whether Caucasian, Semitic, or Nilotic.
Get me second Maccabees chapter 6, verse 7. So it says, in these processions, Negroes frequently appear always in a position of servitude. Go on.
2 Maccabees chapter 6, verse 7. And in the day of the king's birth every month, they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. And when the feast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go into procession.
To go to what?
Procession to Bacchus, carrying ivy.
Different captivity. Same people repeating the same actions in different captivities. So the Negroes under the ancient Egyptian captivities, guess what? Under their religious procession, and their religious procession goes back into the worship of their ancient Egyptian gods. That's all it's going to. So we went to procession for Ra,
Sobek,
all the gods they had. Bull,
crocodile
god.
You can name whoever.
Fly, the sun,
Ra.
all that.
So it's the same thing that we did in each captivity. We went to procession during their religious ceremonies. Now, let's go back.
With whom they are grouped. If there is any exception to this, I am not aware of it. They are sometimes bound in chains.
They're what?
They are sometimes bound in chains.
Oh, we're going to touch back on that. We're going to show you with evidence the depictions of the ancestors, the things what we experience in America is the same thing we experienced in ancient Egypt. We were always bound in chains. Go on.
And led as captives in the trains of victorious generals returning from the wars.
Go on.
At others in the established relations of slavery. We are told that the Negro was a stranger in Egypt.
We were told that what?
The Negro was a stranger in Egypt.
Let's bring it back out again. Let's get Genesis chapter 15.
Wow.
We were told that the Negro was a stranger in Egypt. Who else was called a stranger in Egypt? Who was prophesied that there was? That's what we're telling you. We know who we are. We could go into the books. We got the books. We got the records. We have the archaeology. We have everything to prove what we're saying. Go on.
Genesis chapter 15, verse 13. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs.
So know of a surety that thy seed, Abraham, shall be a stranger in the land that is not theirs. What was the land? The land of Egypt in which we were strangers. So read that again.
Says we are told that the Negro was a stranger in Egypt.
That the Negroes, that the Israelites, I'll say it again, not the Negroes, but the Israelites were a stranger in Egypt. And you notice how this scholar was able to do this much research and point out that he sees the Negroes are all the war relic. If you look at the histories parallel to each other, the Israelites were the only group of people that was referenced to be in slavery in Egypt. That's the story of the Exodus. That's what they push in your Hollywood, in your movies. Everybody is known worldwide, globally, and the Passover is based upon the deliverance of the Israelite out of ancient Egypt. You know what? I got a book. Check this out. I got a book. Say something. I got another book. I want to show you something.
Hey, get Deuteronomy 23:7. Bishop just brought this out last night.
Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 7.
Saying the same thing.
Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou wast a stranger in his land.
You see that? Saying the same exact thing that this Edomite is bringing out in this book here. Letting you know we were the strangers. The Israelites were the strangers in Egypt, which was us. He just saying Negroes, but we know that was us, the Israelites. All right? And that's what we bringing out to y'all. Okay?
Yeah, let's get Psalms 107, verse 10. You should also read that out yesterday. You just read about they always bound in chains.
Yes, sir.
Psalms chapter 107, verse 10. Such as sit in darkness and in the shadow of death.
Right. So the darkness is, the Bishop said, was America, and the shadow of death, which is also America. Go ahead.
Being bound in affliction
Go ahead.
and iron.
See that? Being bound in affliction and iron. And that's the same thing we just read there, where the Israelite goes wherever they're at. They're always in affliction and iron and in darkness. Right now, we're in a gross darkness.
Right.
We don't know who we are. But the other captivity, at least we knew our identity. We know who it was. But this time we don't know who we are. We're totally lost in darkness, gross darkness.
Right. We lost who we were once Esau came into power. Because Esau, they the type to erase your whole. They try to erase your whole existence and take it.
The hell is this?
Hey, listen, like I said, if we were here for another, I'll say hundreds of years, what you see in Esau doing today is what they've done in every culture throughout history. What they do, they start to remove, as they conquer you, they enslave you, they indoctrinate you, and the little bit of piece of information of your history that you have left, they start to take bits and pieces of it away from you, and they say that's offensive to our society. And they remove it out of the system, the school system, the educational institutions. They remove it and say that's critical race theory.
Damn.
They say that's a 1619 project. That's, oh, no, little Jimmy's offended by that. They remove it, and after they remove it, guess what? They start putting it out there and start retelling your history. As they retell your history, they start to insert little portions and pieces of information pertaining to them being those people. And that's how they did it throughout the process of time. They did it in with classical music.
Right.
They did it with rock and roll. They did it with all types of music. Hip hop, sooner or later, is going to be white owned.
Right.
That's why they're buying their catalogs. Martin Luther King, and as well as Malcolm X, is going to be white. And check this out. They did it right before you. You don't even know it. X-Men. What do you think X-Men is about? X-Men is about Martin Luther King and Magneto.
Oh, right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the whole blueprint and structure behind X-Men was based upon, I'll say it again, Professor X was Martin Luther King and Magneto was Malcolm X. And the mutants was in what? That's why they call the mutants. It happened in America. It happened within there. They was fighting against what? Society.
Yeah,
Oppression.
Oppression.
Civil rights movement.
Civil rights movement. That's what they're fighting. If you notice how every hero, every single character or hero that was created, whether it be Superman, whether it be Spider-Man or Superman, Wonder Woman, notice it was all created during the time period of the World War II, of America fighting against the Nazis. They always create superheroes that fights against their enemies. But when it came to X-Men, they fought internally, showing that their fight was our fight, was the civil rights movement. But what do? They put white heroes. So they whitewash our story and made it a movie. Give it 20 years from now, 30 years from now, Michael Jackson movie. They had a Caucasian from Britain played his role, and black people made an outcry.
The hell is this?
But if you can move history from the school system, after a while, at the time period, the kids get dumbed down, they're watching TikTok, you put the information out there, this was the history, and guess what? They accept it. Just like you accept that the Jews are Caucasian. It's no different. It's the same plot. It's the same deception being recycled all over and over again. Now, you got that book? The Story of the Negro.
The story of the Negro. The Negro slaves always believed that someday they would be free. From the Bible, the only book the masses of the people knew anything about.
But read it again for the top.
The Negro slaves always believed that someday they would be free.
So there's always a yearning or an innate desire that's saying that we will always be free. Go on.
From the Bible, the only book the masses of the people knew anything about.
So from the Bible, the only book. Now, I thought we were slaves from Africa. Why don't we sing the songs of Africa? Why don't we sing the songs of Egypt? No, we sing the songs of our ancestors. It's been embedded within our code, our genetic codes. That's who we are. That's why it says Negro spiritual. We sing the songs of the spirits of our fathers and mothers. There's a spiritual connection that we have attached to our ancestors that's unknown to us because of whitewashing and because of indoctrination. But there's always been a connection that we always revert back to. Wait a minute. These are our people. No matter how many times they try to take the book away from us, somehow the book always get put back in our hand. It's like a boomerang, or it's like a gravitational force pull. It's like a gravitational pull that keeps them pulling us back to the book. There's a connection between the two. Go on.
They learned the story of the children of Israel.
They learned the story of the children of Israel. Go on.
Of the house of bondage and the 40 years of wandering in the wilderness. And they easily learn to apply this story to their own case.
So they easily learn to apply this story to their own case. You know why? Because the same history that Negroes had in ancient Egypt is the same history that they had in America.
And Cap, if I may, and that's one of the reasons why they didn't want the slave to read the Bible. Because then that would boost their spirit up, be like, you know what? That could be talking about us. Or we could use that story to revolt against our oppressor.
Exactly. Yep.
It's like spiritually we knew we were the same people.
Yeah.
You know, that connection in the Bible. So
there's always been a spiritual connection. Just like, for example, King Arthur. When he first took hold of the sword, it was only him. Once he took hold of the sword, what happened?
He got power.
He got power, but
he's the only one able to
remember.
He's a remember. Yeah. His memories came back.
Good example was Birth of a Nation.
And remember, what was the first thing he remembered? His father. So went right back to his father, and he gained power with that. And the sword is similar to the Bible, and us grabbing or pulling the power from the Bible. And when we took on the power like King Arthur did, what happened? He revolted.
Even with Lion King, too.
Yeah, same thing.
His father came to him, like, remember your father when he was in the clouds.
Remember who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when King Arthur took the sword, he remembered first thing that happened, he remembered his father.
Right.
And not only remember his father, he remembered his enemies.
Right. And he kept getting the visions over and
He
over.
kept on getting the visions and became stronger and stronger and stronger. The same thing, when we took hold of the Bible, there's a connection that brings us back to the memories of our fathers. And then what happens first? What they always do? We always revolt. Nat Turner,
Right.
he started to remember. Something clicked to him, started to remember what was the first thing he did. He revolted. Gabriel Prosser, what was the first thing he did? He revolted. Oh,
Denmark Vex.
Denmark Vesey, first thing he did, he revolted. Even Haiti, right?
Even in Haiti, well, I don't know.
Oh, so we'll leave that one alone? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Cap, no.
Let's move on, huh? Let's move on.
Let's move on. That's what we do it?
I just don't want to. I just don't want to reveal certain things that haven't been put out yet.
No.
But
the thing is, right?
I'm talking about Toussaint or
Toussaint,
Desault.
right? But before all that, there was this guy named Bookman.
Okay.
Some people say that he had the book. That's why they call him Bookman.
Okay.
And some people twist the story saying that he had the Quran in his hand, and some people say he was reading the Bible, and that's how they was able to start learning how to revolt. But then they twist everything and saying that they do some voodoo, whatever. That's how they was able to overcome.
Okay.
But that's why a lot of stories say it started with him, the guy called Bookman.
Okay.
Because he was reading a book, but nobody ever could tell exactly what book he was reading. Some people say it was the Quran, some people say it was the Bible. So just to show you, it could have been the Bible. He read it because I think he was taught how to learn how to read. And he started reading that book, and then that's how they start organizing themselves to revolt.
You can only do that by the Bible.
Yeah, ain't no way is the Quran doing that.
Yeah,
You can only do that through the Bible.
But they want to switch the story. They don't
yeah.
want to tell the truth.
And also, it had to be something profound about that book because, my Benjamin counterparts will definitely get at me. Benjamin known him as Dutty Bookman. And he was actually Benjamin and led the revolt in Haiti. You know what I mean? So that book had to tell him these people are my brethren. They're my brothers.
And remember,
they're in captivity.
The British they banned the Apocrypha. That they couldn't read the Apocrypha.
Jamaica and the West
Jamaica
Indies,
and some of the West Indies island. Because Esau knows that's what our power lies.
The Raven and Wolf.
Right, that's why they kept that book away from us.
But like Cap is bringing out with Denmark Vesey and Nat Turner, Gabriel Prosser, what did these men all have in common? The Bible.
Yep.
They all connected with the Bible. Okay, and that was the only way that Bible, the scriptures gave us that spirit to revolt. That's the only thing that gave us a spirit. But like in the movie Uncle Tom, I think it's Uncle Tom. What's the slave movie? Not Uncle Tom Cabin. Goodbye Uncle Tom. When you see they in the slave house in the slave quarter, they're reading the Bible and he's going over do men yun. But that's what we was doing because we didn't know how to read or anything like that. But we connected with the scriptures.
Hey, see the commercial Hell on Hills.
Right.
Is that called Hell on Wheels? No, Hell on Wheels.
Hell on Wheels. Yes,
Hell
sir.
on Wheels.
We pulling that up?
No, we're gonna find that commercial, but I want to finish the book. You got something?
Real quick, how does the Bible get the Spirit of Christ stirred up, the Spirit of God stirred up in us? That's, we don't got to read it, but that's Ecclesiastes 7:7. Surely oppression make it. Let's pull that up. Because when they read the Bible, we see what's promised to us and how we're being treated by the other nations. We gain wisdom from knowing the law, the statutes and commandments of God. We gain wisdom. And having that wisdom, seeing how your people are suffering, that's what brings that revolutionary spirit.
Yep.
Right?
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart.
So in our current culture today, we can't come to that knowledge, that wisdom of oppression, because our enemies are destroying our hearts with gifts. They're destroying, corrupting our religious leaders, those who have money through entertainment. They don't feel like they're oppressed, so they can't get mad at the system. They're well off. All right, go ahead, guys.
Exactly. Let's get back to it. The Negro story. The Negro story.
That first page that said chapter 1.
Yeah, we didn't finish it.
Right there.
Yep,
There you
right
go.
there.
Yep. Blow it up. It says, there was always a feeling among them that someday, from somewhere or other, a prophet would arise who would lead them out of slavery.
Jeez, God. Yo, go back up. Go back up.
Bring it out.
Come on. Yeah. Come on, let's go. Go back up a little bit.
That's joy.
Yo, let me sit there a little bit.
Let me do Captain Barnabas. Read that again. Read that again.
Let's go. Let's get that.
Let's go up a little bit more. Let's go. They learned the story of the children of Israel. Let's go back up to there.
They learned the story of the children of Israel, of the house of bondage, and of 40 years of wandering in the wilderness. And they easily learned to apply this story to their own case.
So they easily applied this story to their own case because it was the same people living the story all over again. That's why in Deuteronomy 28, it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God. He was talking to who? The people in the wilderness. And the people in the wilderness will be experiencing these things. That's why he was directly talking to those ancestors there. Right. And they'll come right back again to relive that same captivity that they came out of. Now go on.
There was always a feeling among them that someday, from somewhere or other, a prophet would arise who would lead them out of slavery.
God. Damn. It said there always arise a feeling that a prophet from somewhere, somehow, would deliver them out of slavery. Can we get that in Nehemiah chapter 9, verse 27? You know why? Because that was always the custom throughout every single captivity.
Damn.
Nehemiah chapter 9, verse 27. Therefore thou deliverest them into the hand of their enemies, who vexed them. And in the time of their trouble, when they cried unto thee, thou heardest them from heaven. And according to thy manifold mercies, thou gavest them saviors who saved them out of the hand of their enemies.
That's why there's always been an innate feeling that a prophet will arise to save us out of the hands of our enemy based upon past experience. We're just recollecting and remembering what happened in the past. Even though we didn't know of it, it was always in us internally.
Damn.
There was always an internal feeling that a prophet was going to rise up because God always did that within every single captivity, starting from the ancient Egyptian when God sent Moses to deliver us out of the hand of Pharaoh. The Syrian captivity.
Cap, can we read that? Genesis 50:24. Before Joseph died, he told them that the Lord was going to come and visit them. 24:25.
24:25.
Yep.
Genesis chapter 50, verse 24. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I die, and God will surely visit you and bring you out of this land unto the...
Now, we talk about, the Negro slave in Egypt, right? And that was Joseph, before he died, right? And he was telling his brethren, how did he know that? Go ahead, read on.
and bring you out of this land unto the land which he sware to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob.
So he told them the Lord is going to visit you to take you out of this bondage that you're in, because he knew they was going to go in bondage. He said they're going to come and take you out of this land and take you back to the land that the Most High swore to our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Read.
And Joseph took an oath of the children of Israel, saying, God would surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones from hence.
He said, yo, listen, man, when they come and get y'all out of here, make sure y'all take my bones. Don't leave it in Egypt. So they always knew that the Lord was going to send them a savior.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. Excellent point. Let's go back.
This faith was the source of the old freedom songs, which always had for the slaves a double meaning.
Hey, you know what that means? Always for the slaves had a what? A double meaning. It's no different from the scriptures. You know what? You know how our songs are always double meaning? We always sing in what? Parables or metaphors. Mm-hmm. There's you see with the divine dialect, they'll still, or even with what was it, Captain Gedaliah and Officer, what is it, Sons of Thunder. They'll say a line, but if you look at the line slowly, there's a double meaning within that line. Give me that real quick in Job chapter 12.
Like a slang type of language.
It's a slang type of language.
Yeah.
We're speaking, when we're rapping, when we're singing songs, we're singing parables.
Right.
They always have a double meaning behind it.
Hey, Cap, I saw Edomite dissect a Jay-Z song.
Mm-hmm.
How he went word for word. The way he rapped the song, and he went back and ciphered every word to explain exactly what Jay-Z was. He was sending messages through his song.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, you saw study all that stuff.
All of our songs are patterned that way.
Yep.
It's patterned like the way when you read the scripture, it's the same thing. You look at things on a surface level, but when you look intently at the words, there's a double meaning behind it, and you get something out of it all the time. Like, I was listening to a Nas song, I'm like, whoa. Like, he made reference to one thing that I had to look up that tree. He said something like the Joshua tree, something like that. So I looked it up, and there was history behind that one tree. So if I didn't take my time to like really decipher it, I would never know the history behind that and connect the whole sentence together. I said, God. These are the sons of the prophets.
So so you saying we listen to songs on a surface level, but there's really something
Always,
behind it.
just like the slave songs.
Right.
There's always something behind it.
And that's why Esau say he has to control our music.
Yep, exactly.
So he control what we put out.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep, read that. What I want.
Job chapter 11, verse 6. And that he would show thee the secrets of wisdom, that they are doubled to that which is.
So the secrets of wisdom is double. There's always just more than one meaning to it. It's double to that which is. So there's double meaning behind it. You look at the scripture on the surface, but no, God said there's deeper meaning behind that scriptures. You got to look at it and decipher it. Go precept upon precept. So now, go back to that.
Says this faith was the source of the old freedom songs, which always had for the slaves a double meaning. Interwoven with the religious sentiment and meanings, there was always the expression of a desire and a hope, not alone for freedom in the world to come, but of freedom in this world as well.
That's it. So now, you got the hell on wheels?
Nope.
Oh,
You didn't look for it? Okay. Huh? When he's reading the scriptures.
Swat said, Pete, come on, bro.
Cap, you sent this book?
What?
The Negroes and the Jews? Did you just send that?
No.
That's going to back up what we just going over.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought you had. I guess they's on. I guess they. All right, they thinking today.
Okay.
IT thinking. Check them out.
All right. You want to bring that up?
Yeah, let's bring it up. All right. So Bishop always references book on the Shout Out Tuesdays. But the Negroes' claim to be Jewish is legitimate. The land of Israel is located in Western Asia and borders on North Africa. All of the native inhabitants of that region were non-white. When Spain expelled its Jews in 1492, many of them went to Africa. It seems probable that some of them were brought later to America as slaves. The spirituals is the point. The spirituals never sang of African rivers. It's always the Jordan, or the Red Sea.
See, the spiritual is never. Even remember, there's a famous song says, "Go down, Moses, when Israel was in Egypt, Pharaoh's land. Let my people go."
All right, that's when I started.
Go down, Moses, when Egypt.
Let my people go.
Y'all feel the spirit or what? What's going on here?
Yeah,
So
brother.
all of our songs were always based upon Jordan or our deliverance. Go on. Keep reading.
They don't sing about African chiefs or kings. It's David or Moses or some other Jewish characters from the Bible.
Because why? That's the connection between us and the Bible. Because we are the people of the book.
Thank you.
Now,
Alexis.
now, do you have it? Hell on Wheels. I said hell on wheels, right?
So he don't have it.
Hey, real quick, can we get a scripture real quick?
I look for it.
Let's-
I look for why they.
Yeah, let's connect the parables and the music, because when we hear the music, it activates us a different way because it was meant for us. All right, let's get Luke 8, chapter 8, just verse 10.
Luke chapter 8, verse 8.
It's the second one. I'm sorry. It's the second one. There you go, right there. All right.
Luke chapter 8, verse 8. And other fell on good ground and sprang up.
Nope, verse 10. 8
Verse
and verse 10.
And he said unto you, it is given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of God.
Just like Cap said, with the music even that Israel is creating right now, other people's going to listen to it. And hence, they don't even know they listen to gospel music. But us that know the scriptures that are awakened, we know there's a message behind this music. Go ahead.
But to others in parables,
Uh-huh.
that seeing they might not see,
Right.
and hearing they might not understand.
Right, because the slave owners knew this book is for us. We're connected with the book. Hence, what they portray in the in Avatar, the Tree of Life. To us, the Tree of Life is the Bible. They don't want us connected to that thing.
Nope.
Baruch 4:1 says the same thing. This is the book of life. You know, they don't want us to be connected with that book.
Hey, I saw something on a TikTok on a cruise, right? I don't know if y'all saw it. On a cruise, somebody was jamming to a Benjamin. Tung, tung, tung. It's an Israelite party. Tung.
Oh, yeah?
They show the people, Edomites, everybody on the cruise singing to that.
You got to
this-
find that thing.
I got to find
Like,
it.
they don't understand. They
My wife
dance
told me
into
that.
their destruction.
And then
play it.
you're a Dick and Isaac in the back. Jack it up. Back it up. Back it up. Back it up.
All right, let's play it.
Wives, submit yourselves to your husbands as is fitting in the Lord. Husbands, love your wives and do not be harsh with them. Children, obey your parents in everything, for this pleases the Lord. Slaves, obey your earthly masters in everything, not only when their eye is on you and to curry the favor, but with sincerity of the heart in referring to the Lord.
Well, I don't believe it. How old are you, boy?
I ain't been on you, sir.
Pay up, gentlemen. It's dangerous, you know, teaching them to read. That's true. That Turner was taught to read.
Nonsense. Let me show you. Boy, can you explain to me the meaning of what you just read?
No, master.
See? It's like a parrot reciting Shakespeare. Well done, Elam. Well done.
have heard the groaning of the Israelites whom the Egyptians hold in slavery, and I have remembered my promise. Say unto the children of Israel, I am the Lord. And I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians, and I will rid you out from under their bondage. And I will redeem you with a stretched out arm, and ye shall know that I am the Lord.
Fire. Fire. You know what I mean?
Look at that. And the
Close
first
the
thing, he
book.
closed the book.
Close the book.
I will deliver you out of the hands of the Egyptians.
That's it.
Saying the same thing.
Yep.
Now, let's go back to the book. The original book, the first one. Okay, let's pick up.
Go down. No. Go up. Right there. All right. We are told that the Negro was a stranger in Egypt, an alien in a foreign land, and that in the ancient world, the alien was uniformly regarded as an enemy and was most commonly reduced to slavery, and that the relations in which he appears on the monuments of the Nile resulted from his position as an alien.
Now, let's go to the next part. Next page.
All right. Passing from the monumental to the historic period, we obtain precisely the same result. The presence of the Negro in the ancient world is a fact which meet us everywhere. The Greek and Roman writers make frequent mentions of them. We find them in Europe, Asia, and Africa, at Thebes, Memphis, Carthage, Tyre, Antioch, Athens, and Rome.
So the scholar, the writer's saying that the Negro was found in every ancient text in hieroglyphs or wall mosaics, wall relics. We're everywhere. It can't be argued or refuted. And the only people that you read about that was in every single captivity was the Israelites. Now let's go to the next page.
Go down. I believe in relations of inferiority to those with whom they are found, and not only of inferiority, but even more distinctly of slavery. Upon this point, the proofs are full and clear, and we are at liberty to speak with confidence. In respect to the monumental period, the proofs are all strong, in the same direction. When the Negro races first made their appearance on the monuments of Egypt, it is in the relations of slavery. Sometimes indeed of captivity, but more commonly of established slavery. This, until we came down to our own times, was therefore the universal status. Slaves then, when Karnak and Luxor were built...
the position of the Negro, it was the universal status wherever they went. Go on.
Slaves. Then, when Karnak and Luxor were built, slaves in Europe.
Slaves in Europe. Go on.
Asia.
In Asia. So we're going to the different captivities documented in history. So he said slaves in Europe. That's during the Spanish Inquisition. Go on.
Asia.
In Asia, you have the Indian Ocean slave trade. Go on.
Africa.
You have slaves in Africa, the trans-Saharan slave trade. Go on.
And America.
And America, the transatlantic slave trade. So scholars see the history. When you go back in the writings of our history, everywhere we go, we always been relegated to a position of servitude or captivity, no matter where you go. And that's why he's trying to convey, if you go even all the way back 3,500 years ago, the Negro has been always relegated to the same position in ancient Egypt, and it's always been a part of their life, no matter how long or what captivity. Go on.
Slaves in Thebes.
Slaves in Thebes, going back to the Theban kings in Egypt. Read.
And Memphis.
And Memphis, go on.
At Babylon.
At Babylon under Nebuchadnezzar. So now he went back. So he started during the transapparent, the transapparent to the Indian Ocean slave trade. From there, you have the European slave trade. To there, you have the transatlantic slave trade out in America. Then he said, you know what? Let me go back. Let me go back to Thebans or Memphis. Let's go back to ancient Egypt. Then after that, you have Babylon. We were slaves under Nebuchadnezzar in 606 BC.
Damn.
Go on.
And Nineveh.
And what?
Nineveh.
Of the Nineveh. That's who Jonah was going to. slaves in Nineveh. Those were Israelites or Negroes, blacks and Latinos. Go on.
At Rome.
At what?
Rome.
Christ, think about it. The Jews were slaves under Rome. Christ was erected, or when Christ came on the scene, he came on the scene of us being slaves in Rome. And check this out. Get Matthew chapter 1, verse 17.
Yeah, what did Cletus say that Christ was born in slavery? He was born in captivity.
Yeah. He was born in captivity, and that's the reason why Christ came for us, to deliver us from the hands of our captors. Go on.
Matthew chapter 1, verse 17. So all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations. And from David until carrying away into Babylon are 14 generations. And from the carrying away into Babylon unto Christ are 14 generations.
So we're seeing from the time period that we were carried away into captivity were 14 generations. And then it says, and from the carrying away into Babylon unto Christ. So Babylonian captivity under King Nebuchadnezzar, all the way unto Christ is Roman captivity. Or you have Pompey, or you have the Caesars, the Julius Caesars, or you have the 12 Caesars. So we've been slaves under each captivity. That's why it says, now read verse 21.
Verse 21. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people.
Because why? Because in each and every captivity, we always been relegated to a position of servitude. That's why Christ had to come on the scene. I'll say it again. That's why Christ had to come on the scene. Now keep reading.
Slaves and thieves, and Memphis, at Babylon, and Nineveh, at Rome, and Athens.
And what?
Athens.
And Greece. Read.
At Carthage, and Constantinople.
At Carthage, as well as Constantinople. Read.
At Havana, and Richmond.
And Richmond, Virginia. Go on.
Slaves at all times.
Read.
And in all places, under all forms of government.
So slaves at all times, in all places, in all forms of government. Now, you think the scholar didn't come across history? Oh, wait a minute. These people are the Israelites. That's why he had to put Negroes there. So if by chance we do get hold of these documents or these records, that we won't associate it with the children of Israel, because you read the Bible, the Israelites has been slaves all time. And they haven't been redeemed or placed in their homeland. We're still put in a position of captivity or servitude. Show me one place in the scriptures where the Israelites were in a place of servitude. No, not one time period in history. That's always been the social position of us throughout all of mankind. Now, is that it on that?
No, sir. You want the last?
Yeah, the last one.
Under every modification of society, under every conceivable combination of circumstances, slavery seems to have been emphatically the history of this race. And who, thrusting himself into the divine councils, will undertake to say that slavery is not their doom.
Because why? We will be saved from the land of our enemies. That was the whole purpose of Christ.
That's right.
Now, let's go to Negro slave. Let's get to the images and depictions. Let's go to the first image.
Bring it out.
And that's why the Lord asked Jeremiah, is Israel a homeborn slave?
Exactly.
Was we created just to be slaves for those?
So that's not the first one.
Because slavery wasn't supposed to be our lot.
Nope.
God gave us laws to keep.
Exactly.
Like Cap
go
bringing
down.
it earlier, he
Go,
said
go.
the Most High held
Go
us
up.
to a high standard.
No, that's not it.
The Lord says we are gods.
I want the one where us kneading dough and bakery.
We're looking at Jerry Yell for.
Right there. Let's start there.
What's going on here?
So let's get some of these documented images that was left in Egypt. So this is from Jewish civilization. Let's read it. Let's go at the bottom of it. Let's enlarge it.
Model of a bakery. Bread was a staple in Egypt. There were bakeries in which one man milled the flour, another kneaded, and a third brought the bread to the oven. The entire operation was directed by the man sitting in the rear. Egyptian Museum, Turin.
So this is this example of Egyptian relics or of Negro slaves in a position of servitude. Us making the food, the bakeries. You have what is called the butler. We always were put in a position, either the cooks, the chefs, you have Issachar. It's the same history all over again. You got the one in the barbershop?
Hey, look at the one in the back, the taskmaster.
The taskmasters all over again.
Hey,
Or the head chef.
hey, go to the group, man. Bring up the one I showed y'all before with in the barbershop. I'm about to put it on the group last, so don't.
Ice Cube over there?
Showing you what the life that we experience in America is the same life that we experienced in Egypt. And I always said that. It's the same people doing the same things all over again. Now.
Yo.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say, man. Cap, I'm sorry to say, it's my people. I went to Haiti. That's exactly about
Yeah.
what in Haiti.
Yeah.
In the street, just like that.
Yo.
Wow.
Nah, the hell with that. Let me pull that up on Instagram. It got dudes in New York City in the subway and at the barbershop too. Same captivity. Even in Philly, he got that.
So if you look at it. So what are we doing? We're sitting down in the chair in the barbershop
I should take
talking about.
I should take a picture of that. in
Yo.
Haiti, man. That's exactly same thing, man.
Yo, you can't make this up, man.
Hey, you got the shape of
I'm about,
my
yo,
so
we about to set the scene real
so
quick.
check this out.
He's probably pushing his hairline back.
Oh, here he goes.
So he's in the barbershop. Get me Ezekiel chapter 5, verse 1. Keep that on the screen real quick.
Man.
So it's the same thing we was doing back then, the same thing we doing today. You know, black people can't go without their cut or the shape of you. So, yo, you know what I'm saying? I got to get the fresh line.
Right.
Yo, line me up.
So, you know, 'cause you got some people out there that think a barbershop just came around. Nah, we
We've
Cap,
been doing
Your
this.
mom probably like, yo, man, we got a festivity for Raw, man. You gotta go.
Got that?
Ezekiel chapter 5, verse 1. And thou, son of man, take thee a sharp knife, take thee a barber's razor, and cause it to pass upon thine head and upon thy beard. Then take thee balances to weigh and to divide the hair.
So this is the ancient Egyptian barbershop of Negroes getting a haircut.
look at your man's waiting, right? Look at him
Look
waiting.
at him waiting on the
Yeah,
chair.
you know, you always
Damn.
got the bench.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
barbershop.
yeah,
the bench in the barbershop. Yeah.
Come on, hurry up, man.
Man.
You got people waiting like, damn.
Yeah,
Let's
like,
get the next one. The
all right,
next one.
hey, we're going to show you after the aftermath of the cut. Yo, bring that up. It's a link right there.
Oh, man.
See how fresh
See
it
my
came
man
out.
sitting down, he getting his cut. Watch this. Blow that up, man.
He cut the fro.
Cut the fro off, man. Check him out.
Smooth, right?
Yo, blow it up. Hey, first, let's get the top. Let's read the top. This is a figurine from Egypt of a Semitic slave.
Of a Semitic slave.
So why the hell would they say our culture is different from the Semitic culture? When I see the
Exactly, yeah,
the
they try to throw that
contradiction
in.
in the words, they'll throw you off if you don't know
You gotta-
the real meaning of being a Shemite.
Right.
And the only reason you know that's in Israelite because the Egyptians are Hamite.
Right. Look at the cut, man.
Hey, zoom in a little bit.
Yo,
Look
blow
at the
that up.
beard.
You gotta blow it up, bro.
Yo, blow it up. Look at the beard. Look at the shape up.
That's Judah, bro.
That's Judy. Man, ain't no African coming smooth like that with a cut.
Whoa, wait a minute,
that's
wait
Judah,
a
bro.
minute.
Look at that.
Wait, hold
Look
on,
at that.
hold
Look at
on.
that beard.
Hold up. See,
Yo, the head.
No, that's a Judite head. Ain't no
Hey, Cap,
These guys.
Cap. I'm a humble servant. I ain't gonna go against that. The only thing I'm gonna say is just need a new barber. Then, if that's the case.
To fit that
So you got
Yes, sir.
Shots fired.
So let's go to the next one.
Take you back
Bring
to
it up,
Egypt.
Ray.
Man. Take
Dang.
you
Go
back
to
to
the next
Egypt.
one.
Get a cut.
Let's go to the next one.
And you know, Esau don't get no lineups either.
No, they don't. They never
they
get
just
the
cut
lineups.
it.
And that's it.
Only when they trying to be like us. You know what I
As
mean?
a matter of fact, too, the Hamite, they don't get no damn.
Nope.
No, they don't.
They don't.
No.
They don't.
No,
get that.
they don't get cuts like that. They keep the raw, the natural, the peas.
Right. I be wondering. I be watching some movies. You know, some may be Israel, but they represent a Hamitic culture. I be like, yo, they in the movies. Why they don't just brush the hair? It
They
just
don't
be
never,
mad
ever.
nappy, no
Mad nappy.
shape up,
Nothing.
and it be the star of the movie too.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how.
Yep. So let's zoom in on that.
Blow it up, man. Look at this.
Let's zoom in. So what are we doing?
Grain.
Mm-hmm. Working in the shipyard.
Dang.
Stocking them with grain. Now go up. Let's read what is. the description?
It says painting from a tomb at Thebes. From the
Wait. Didn't it say Negroes, slaves, and thieves?
Yes, right.
So that's what it said. The Negroes were slaves and thieves. So this is the painting of Negro slave and thieves. Go on.
Painting from a tomb at Thebes from the period of the 18th dynasty.
Wait, what dynasty?
18th dynasty.
The new kingdom. And it rose up a new king that knew not Joseph. Negro slaves and thieves. That's what it's going into. Israelite Negro slaves. Go on.
The hieroglyphs contain instructions such as load a large ship with barley and wheat. Later on, the inscription notes that the grain has been earmarked for a temple, the Levere Paris.
All right, now let's go to the next one.
So what's wrong with that dumb Amalekite, that bastard, saying that all these labors, all these things in Egypt, was the Negro presence wasn't there? Mm-hmm. That's a lie.
That's a lie, yep.
That's a lie. Here's facts.
Exactly. Okay, let's enlarge that. So that's from the book Unto Thy Seed. We brought it out last week. So, yep, if you enlarge it, if you look at the depictions, what color they were, and you could tell the difference. Look at the garment, the underclothing. It's white. So we know that, and they can't say that it was burnt or there's a fire and something like that because
they'll say the white paint is fireproof,
huh?
Fireproof,
right? So why did it wasn't fireproof on the skin?
On the cloth.
Exactly. So now let's go down. Let's see what they're doing.
This mural depicting Israel's bondage in Egypt.
Israel's bondage in Egypt. Let's see where it's found. Go on.
Was found in the Theban tomb.
Was found in what?
The Theban tomb.
Now you're getting a little bit more clarification. Wow. It says found in a Theban tomb. Negroes, slaves, and thieves. These are the Negro slaves identified as Israelite slaves in a Theban tomb. Go on.
Tomb of Rekhmire, governor and vizier at the time of Thutmose III. About
the 18th dynasty all over again. The new kingdom. Let's go to the next one. Let's get a little bit more definitive. Now, because if you look in the book, now one thing they show that changed ultimately, real quick, before we get that next page, the next image, I want to go back to the page where it talks about, what it talks about, let me get it. I'm going to send you something.
And that also debunk the lies that there's no history proof that the Israelite was in Egypt.
Right. The scholars have the proof. We just not Negroes is not interested in searching that deep.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Everybody is persuaded what is called popular persuasion. Go ahead, Judge.
Okay, you got it? Let's pull it up. Let's enlarge it. And this is why the scholar made the statement. Okay. Now let's read it.
Says with the coming of the new kingdom, a double phenomenon is observed. On the one hand, the representations of Africans become numerous, and on the other, they become extremely schematic. While in the best ancient figurations, the individual traits of the blacks come out clearly.
So it says the individual traits of the blacks come out clearly. It comes out distinctly from the images of the blacks prior. Go on.
Under the new kingdom, they quickly...
Under the new kingdom, the 18th dynasty that knew not Joseph, go on.
They quickly become stylized.
Wait, they quickly become what?
Stylized.
They become what?
Stylized.
They become stylized. They take on a different style. Go on.
And there appears in Egyptian art a Negro type.
So now I want you to keep hold to these words. They become stylized, and it becomes an Egyptian Negro type. Now let's go to the next. Keep that in mind. They become stylized, and it becomes a Negro type.
All right. Blow it up. Right there. That's good. The thousands of war captives who were transformed into slaves made it possible for the Egyptian kings to implement their feats of engineering. Chained captives are shown.
Captives are shown going
on these painted clay facing plaques from a building erected by Ramses II.
Go on.
In honor of the king's brave warriors from the period of the 19th dynasty, the Levere
So
Parish.
this was Ramses II, the pharaoh of the Exodus. I'll say it again. This is Ramses II, the pharaoh of the Exodus. Now let's look at these war relics. Let's see it. How did they look?
Come on, man.
Come on, man. And notice, I want you to look at the distinction now. We're going to examine it a little bit more clearly. So look at the different clothing. It says there becomes a new type, a black or Negro type, stylized. Look at their garments. That's not ancient Egyptian garment. They didn't wear that. They didn't wear that type of fabric.
Right.
Or even the head wrap.
That's a beautiful garment they have.
Exactly.
These sisters have on, Cap.
Now, what's on their neck?
I was just about to say.
What's on their neck?
Feathers of iron, right?
Yolks of iron.
Yoke of iron.
Hey,
Yep. And
hey.
we're going to get into that. We're going to show you more.
All right.
What do you want to?
No, I was going to tell them to get a side-by-side of today,
Yes.
America, and
Yep, get a side-by-side. Get a side-by-side of America along with today.
the correlation.
The correlation, exactly.
Yoke of iron in the neck.
So we're seeing yokes of iron, chains upon her neck. So now you're seeing a Negro type that's stylized, different dress attire, and then you're seeing yokes of iron and chains upon thy neck. During the second, or during Ramses II, or as well as the Theban tombs, as well as Tutmos, all Negro types, images.
Just type in yoke of iron.
Yeah. I forgot the brother. There's a brother, the one that have the yoke of iron around his neck. He has a name. I forgot his name. We just seen it 2 days ago. Yeah, get that right there. Right there, bro.
Yep.
Yep. Do a side by side if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. There you go. Look at that.
All the way down.
Yokes of iron upon thy neck.
All the way down to features, the nose and the lip.
Exactly. Now let's get the next image.
I'm sorry, man. That like that cloth you had on in the picture.
Nah, that dates back to some dynasties prior before that.
Y'all crazy. Yo.
Next one, stylized.
Hey.
Oh, wow.
Yo.
Stylized.
Look at the garment, man.
Look at the garment. Yokes of iron upon thy neck.
Hey, Cap, if we can, get what the Egyptians was wearing.
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to do that?
Oh yeah.
I don't want to mess
I
y'all up.
I see fringes on that, on the garment on the left.
I don't want to throw y'all off, but side by side with what the Egyptians had on compared to what these sisters got on right here. We can get Deuteronomy 28:48 real quick while we wait.
Ancient Egyptian.
Yeah.
Not new, ancient. There you go.
Far enough.
Yeah, you
There
could pick one of those, whatever.
Damn, different style.
Completely different style.
Look at that. Look at the jewels, the studs, and the stones. Is that right?
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
All right. Now let's get to the next
I
one.
think that was a Laquac with.
Come on, Levi.
All right. Enlarge that.
Hey, go down to the number. What number? Let me see. Oh, okay. Kneeling black, 41.
Mm-hmm.
Blow it up. All right. Says kneeling black captive. Detail of the Soshi of an Arside pillar of Ramses III. Dynasty the 20th. All right. 1198 to 1166 BC.
Okay, let's get to the next one. So we're always seen in a position of captivity. Yokes of iron upon our necks. Chains of fetters of iron. Same thing. Let's go to the next one. What is that? Yokes of iron upon thy neck.
Yeah. Running the darkness bound in chain.
Yep. Let's go to the next one.
You want that pencil mark cap, or you don't want that?
Yeah.
Go back.
Let's read what it says.
Blow it up. Apart from the list of prisoners on pylons or bases of statues, the theme of the black conqueror are in chains appears on numerous monuments. It will suffice here to mention the fine representation of Amenhotep III as a sphinx with his enemies, including 2 blacks. The Negro, with the very curious hair arrangement in the hypo-style room at Karnak.
So it shows you the distinctions between Pharaoh Amenhotep III and with 2 blacks, Negro slaves. Once again, yokes upon iron upon thy neck. Now, let's get to the next one.
And they put that on their thing just to remind them.
Yep. Style. Look at the garments. When do you see any ancient? Let's go to the dress attire, the garments. Zoom in. Look what they're wearing.
That's a bad pick. I mean,
when did you ever see Egyptians wearing this type of style?
Yeah, that one got
dress attire.
That one definitely got fringes. The second one. You see it on top? Look at that. All those are fringes. Yep.
All right. Now let's go back. Now let's go to the description. Okay. Let's read that.
Footstool. Black and Asiatic captives in chains. From Thebes.
From Thebes. Once again, Negro slaves. Read.
Tomb of King Tut. Dynasty 18th.
18th dynasty all over again. Let's go to the next one. Oh, this is a good one.
Procession 32. Procession of Ammon, black dancers and trumpet players.
Black what?
Black dancers and trumpet players.
Black dancers and trumpet players. Go. I think what's in the bottom one? It's the bottom right here. That's the one. You see him playing the trumpet?
Damn.
Black dancers and trumpet players. We were always the entertainers of society. We were always the dance. Think about it, the best dancers of what? Our people. And the trumpet players, your Louis Armstrongs,
right?
Your Miles Davis. So you're the jazz, the blues, all that came from our people. So we were the entertainers back during that time period. So the black dancers and the trumpet players. Now go up. Go up to the picture above. Yep, enlarge that. Now let's see what that's. Go to 33.
33.
Oh, wow.
Athletic contest presented before the court and foreign ambassadors. Detail of low relief. A black and Egyptian wrestling. Dynasty 20.
So a black and Egyptian wrestling. I'll say it again. We always competed in sports. So now you have entertainment. Think about it. Today we make up the sports industry. We make up the entertainment industry. It's no difference. Get me that real quick in 2 Maccabees. So the same position that we had in ancient Egypt, it's the same position that we had in Greece and Rome, and we were the gladiators. So we were the gladiators going against the animals as well as the same position we have in America.
What scripture did you call, Kat?
2 Maccabees chapter 4.
Okay.
Let's break. Huh? After this? Okay, after this. So after this, we're going to go on break. Read that?
4 and...
Come on, the Olympics. Should know.
2 Maccabees 4:15, 4 and 12.
2 Maccabees chapter 4, verse 15.
Bring it out!
Not bad, that's why I'm in 1 Maccabees.
Can you read it? I'll read it.
You got it.
Come on, man.
2 Maccabees chapter 4, verse 13. Come on, read it.
2 Maccabees chapter 4, verse 13. Now such as was the height of Greek fashions and increase of heathenish manners, through the exceeding profaneness of Jason, that ungodly wretch, and no high priest, that the priest had no courage to serve any more at the altar, but despising the temple and neglecting the sacrifices, hastened to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise.
In the place of what?
Exercise.
Now go on.
After the game of discus called them forth.
So we always were put in a position to entertain them. We were your sports stars. We were your musicians. We were your dancers, like you have your Lay's twins. You have I forgot the other dancer. We were your singers. So that's always been our position in society. They never took us seriously. It was always to entertain them. Your LeBron James.
Your gymnasts, yeah.
Your gymnasts.
You got your actors.
Your actors, exactly.
Musician. And that goes to Psalms 137.
Yep, it goes back to Psalms 137. But we're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back right back to it, all right?
Shalom Israel, Most High Christ, blessed and Isaac here. I'm here with the deacons, Malachi, and Lava. We had an opportunity today to speak with the man himself. As you know, this brother's been in the media. There's been a lot of lies told on his behalf, and he had the opportunity to speak for himself. What did you guys think?
People have to see it for themselves. See it for yourself, Israel. See it for yourself.
Library.
His name is Jimmy Shalzay, more commonly known by his childhood nickname, Barbecue. Once a Haitian police officer, he is now the leader of a powerful confederation of gangs called G9, which controls much of Port-au-Prince and its suburbs.
Des conditions si vous mettez nous cité soleil, nous mettez la saline, vous regardez, c'est comment on ça fait vivre. Ou même qui dans pays on dit comment on fait vivre là.
Es tiempo de guerra, si tú tienes miedo, muévete a la izquierda. Es tiempo de guerra, mi mente está fuerte como una piedra. Es tiempo de guerra, si tú tienes miedo, muévete a la izquierda. Es tiempo de guerra, mi mente está fuerte como una piedra.
I've been telling y'all for years we are at war. The nation of Israel is at war. Some of you in here don't believe that. But we are at war. I'm going to show you the war.
For me, it's really incredible that I see soldiers from back here, you know, and this is too much, you know, God is too big, man.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again, the second time, to recover the remnant of his people.
It's you who don't know. It's you Afro-Syrians who don't know your history.
And going to the other side of India, you see the Dalits as well as the Siddhis. Same thing on the Eastern Hemisphere. Mass incarceration, police brutality, lynchings, convict leases.
You brothers and sisters in South Sudan, your heritage goes far deeper than where you live. You are the children of God.
Ein Herz, das arge Ränke, was sind
Vamos poder suportar.
Die Français.
Laat je niet misleiden tot filosofie van.
It looks more like a military group than anything else, but I'll read what they have.
You said something about it looked like something.
An army.
What make you say that?
Because look, it's like military style.
Why do you support Kyrie?
I'm pretty impressed. I heard it from about a mile away, so I had to come over. Okay. How many men?
Uncle was there while you left. Your auntie was there while you left. Cousin was there while you left. Brother was there while you left. Sister was there while you left. Father, your mother, your uncle, your auntie, your cousin, your brother, your sister was there while you left. 12 tribes! 12 tribes! 12 tribes!
There's something that was said that has never been done or seen before. Unity of our people. We are the 12 tribes of Israel. Is that right, brothers? We are the Israelites the Bible speaks of. And we will not apologize. We're going to teach this truth come hell or high water. Christ said the gates of hell shall not prevail against us. I want everybody to understand that. In Ephesians chapter 4, verse 3, the Lord said, endeavor to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. Let's hear it. Unity! 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 And we will not ever bow the knee or apologize. So at that, brothers, who's the king? Who's the king? Who's the king? 12 tribes! 12 tribes! 12 tribes! 12 tribes! Unity! 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 Who's the king? Who's the king? Who's the king?
Hey, Shalom Israel, más alto Cristo los bendiga, oficial Gedeón de ABC Puerto Rico, y estamos aquí en el Festival de Cataño hoy.
When you want to put something back together, you got to go back to where it fell apart. Israel, Northern Kingdom, Southern Kingdom, stand up. Eyes staring from a mile away, you can tell they can see us on an island full of black folks, but they don't speak no English. What I do understand is we got many things in common.
Están diciendo, o crees en esto o vas a morir. Entonces, ellos están forzando la religión cristianismo.
¿Son qué? El pueblo de Israel, ¿verdad? Eso como menciona. Nosotros, Efraín, dejaremos nuestro nombre, que es este, el que Dios nos dio, por maldición.
Coming from the bicycle, playing cars on the bicycle, supposed to the top, rhyming from the bottom like a underscore. Excuse my punctuation, be punching the clock for wages, dollar punching, Kool-Aid and a glass of water and sugar. We just trying to get some.
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. His word, His word, His word, His word.
Shalom, this is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. I have an important message about your leaders in the Christian church. Your bishops, pastors, reverends, and ministers are all lying to you and leading you straight to damnation. The truth is, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the biblical Israelites, according to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Jesus Christ is a black man with white wool hair, according to Revelation chapter 1, verses 14 and 15. We as the Israelites must keep the commandments in the faith of Christ to receive salvation, as it is written in Revelation chapter 14, verse 12. I've challenged and debated Christian authorities all over the world on these issues. Not one of them has been able to negate this truth. Your pastors have led you astray, worshiping pagan holidays and false gods, just as in the days of old. So join us on our mission to restore the true nation of Israel before the decree goes forth. The work is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Visit our website at israelunite.org or call us at 855-484-4842 to learn more and visit our schools. Shalom.
You've been making violence, killing brothers with your riders, selling drugs upon the corners, but the prophet's here, so boy, you better. You've been making violence, killing brothers with your riders, selling drugs upon the corners, but the prophet's here, so boy, you better. Cause the prophet's here now. You better. Hey, bring that out. Cause the prophet's here now. See hanging on the corner, see hanging on the streets. Somebody run the
Ustedes son los verdaderos judíos. Así es.
Estoy revelando en revelación de Jesucristo a ustedes. Cristo dijo, conoceréis la verdad y la verdad os hará libres.
Él no corrige a todos igualmente, mantiene los mandamientos. Israel unido en Cristo, estamos aquí para enseñarte los mandamientos para que ustedes puedan obtener la salvación.
Yes.
Not the white people.
The people of the slave trade, not the white people. What matters? How come you don't say that?
Hey, Shalom Israel, welcome back. So those of you that have been tuned in, you've been seeing, we've been going through, what's that song?
What's that saying?
Okay, those of you that's been tuning in, you've been seeing, we've been going through the history of Negro slavery in ancient Egypt as that of America today. So we're going to continue going forward. Let's go to the next image. So we just finished touching us being the entertainers, the musicians, the dancers, as well as the athletes today. Just like you have your Mike Tysons, your Muhammad Ali's, you have your dancers such as the late Twiz. You have the other dancer, I forgot his name, very popular, Young Brother. So even like I say, the trumpeters, you have your Miles Davis, you have your Dizzy Gillespie's, you have your Louis Armstrong, you have we make up the entertainment industry, and they always require of us a song. Get me that in Sean chapter 173, 37.
Heavy. One of the greatest recording labels, Motown.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
And Jake Negroes was, the heart of that thing.
Mm-hmm. You got it?
Psalms chapter 137, verse 3. For there they carried us away captive, required of us a song. And they that wasted us required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion.
So they always required and placed us in a position of entertainment. That's why we make up your ball players, your LeBron James, your Steve. We make up the whole industry, your LeBron James, your football players, your baseball players, your basketball players, your entertainers. We make up that whole industry. Now, let's go to the next image.
Blow that image up. Start at the top.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a procession right here.
Mm-hmm.
Go down. You got any writing?
It's in the next page.
Oh,
it goes a little bit in depth into it. Here, let's get the next image and let's get the description of it. Okay, zoom in.
Procession of Nubian tribute bearers. The 18th dynasty.
The 18th dynasty, once again, Thebes, tomb of Rekhmir. Now, let's go to the left, the right.
Offering of gold from Thebes, tomb of Sobek. Sobek Hotep. 18th dynasty.
The same dynasty. Now let's go to the next art. Look at that. Negro fro.
Negroes right there.
Those are Negroes. Straight Negroes right there. Undeniable evidence. Let's go to the next one. Zoom in. Zoom in a little bit. Now you have the taskmaster in the back. And then you have the Negro slaves. You see? You have the Negro slaves right in front of them. Look at what they're wearing.
It looks like women with babies.
Yep, women with babies.
Babies in the back.
Israelite children.
Basket in the back.
The basket in the back. Now go down. Let's get to the description.
Notice how our attire changed too.
Exactly. That's all. If you look at the difference, when it says they became another Negro type and a stylish, meaning the dress attire changed altogether when you look at the difference between how the ancient Egyptians used to dress as well as the Israelites. Okay, read that.
18, offerings of African.
No, 19.
19, sorry. Tribute scene, African women with children. 18th dynasty. Okay, mural painting, Thebes, necropolis of Sheikh Abdel Kanar, tomb of Ainin.
Okay, let's go to the next one.
So all of these are from the 18th dynasty, the dynasty of the Israelites.
Our sisters with the children, the babies. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. Go down a little bit. I want to go to the writings. That's what I want, the writings. It's going to explain. Okay.
Which number are you?
Go to where it says so in the neighborhood.
Yes, sir. So, in the neighborhood of 1400 BC, the iconography of the black took shape. From then on, the Egyptian artists depicted the African as dark-skinned, with short hair whose kinky curls are frequently indicated by parallel bands. His nose is flattened. His lips are thick. Prognathism is often exaggerated.
Okay, that's all I wanted. Now go to the next art. So that's why it's called Our Hidden History. They're never going to show you this on TV. They're never going to show you this in your documentaries. We're the only people that's bringing out this information that's put it into work. Right. You're never going to hear about Negro slaves in Thebes or Rekhmir or even in Memphis. These were Israelite slaves, and we got proof, documented evidence. You don't see no Caucasians up in there. You don't see no Arabs up in there. Not one. Either Arabs representing the Egyptians or blacks or Caucasians representing the Israelite slaves. Not one picture or depiction of that.
Leave National Geography
exactly
and those history channels alone. Because when they do bring that stuff up, they say African slaves.
Exactly, yep.
They say African slaves. They're not going to tell you the Negro nor Israelite in dynasty, in time period. They're not going to show you that.
Now look at the bottom. So you see, so you see the pharaoh right there, and you see the people below the pharaoh. He has some chains. The hands tied behind their back. Now go. Look, the person right there, right under him.
Yep. Zoom in on that.
Looks like he's running him over.
Look at him. Look at that nose. Look at the hair. Right. Now go down. Let's get the description.
Black prisoners bound to the pharaoh's war chariot.
Black prisoners. Why didn't it say Egyptian prisoners? It's showing you the Lord doth make a difference between the Egyptian and the Israelite. There's a clear distinction between the two. Let's go to the next one.
And then also, the Most High said that in that time period, due to the fact that later on it was going to change. You know, that's in the future episodes, but you're gonna see the change. There's a difference. They're all Negroids. They got the Hamitic dark skin, and you got the Negroes, which are the Israelites, both dark in complexion, but there is a difference. You know, even in the captivities, you see the difference with the clothing, with the hairstyles. There is a clear, distinctive difference.
Exactly. Let's go to the next image. All right, let's go down. Okay, yep, read that.
The servants carrying golden bars and sacks, leopard skins, and a giraffe's tail are of a well-defined Negro type. They wear a sort of striped skull cap, which has been compared to the wigs worn at present by the Bantus.
And the Bantus were a Shemitic race of people. Go on.
Of Zambezi.
Mm-hmm. Now let's go to the next one.
Wow.
So these are all on the Egyptian walls within the pyramids of Negro slaves all over. But they'll never bring this out. All right, let's go to the next one. I think it's the last one. Okay, and go to the description. So zoom in. Yep, zoom in. Okay.
I think there's something behind that skull cap, but that's something we have to dig into.
Yep.
Because they always had us with a skull cap in Greek captivity.
Just to get their ways in, bro.
Yeah.
That's where your do-rags came from.
Now go to the go to the description. I can't see that. Okay, now go to the description. The children are completely. Yep, go to that right there. Read that.
Special hairdo.
Where's that? Where we at?
The children. It's right. No. Come on. Zoom in.
Blow it up.
Now go to the point to where
The
children.
children. The children are completely naked, and their hair is done up in 3 tufts. The special hairdo of little Negroes in Egyptian iconography.
Special hairdo of Negroes, little Negroes, and Egyptian iconography. So now I want to show you all the. You want to say something?
No, I'm just processing this all.
Now, give me Deuteronomy 28, verse 48.
That's what I'm going to say something.
Yeah.
That's what sisters be doing. They don't be trying to do their kids' hair. They do 3 nice braids, and they leave it alone. That's the Negro hairstyle.
Now,
I do have something I want to bring out after you finish.
Give me Deuteronomy 28, verse 48 now.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48.
And I want you to bring up the image of the 2 sisters with the yokes of iron. I want to show you the image that's showing the same captivity that we experienced in ancient Egypt. It's the same captivity that we experienced in America. Now, Moses had to reintroduce some of the curses.
Right.
Some of these curses we already experienced. Moses say, listen, this is going to come to pass, or this is going to happen in the future Egypt. Read that.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. We just show you countless depictions and evidence of images of our ancestors having yokes of iron upon their neck. Can you bring that back up again? Show you that's why we're living in the days of ancient Egypt all over again. This is the spiritual Egypt, and what you're going to show you. Look what is, go back to the picture, the yoke of iron upon thy neck. Come on. And he shall put a what? Read that again.
And in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. Get me another image of the yokes of iron upon our neck. And let's read it again.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
So now I want you to show me today's images of yokes of iron upon our neck to show you the parallel between both Egypts. That's why God says this is spiritually Sodom as well as Egypt. Now, yokes of iron upon thy neck. Come on.
Hey, get that bottom. Yeah.
Get the bottom. Yep.
Our thing.
Yep.
Our
Enlarge that.
Not that, bro. Go back.
Come on.
Go back. Come on, here we go. That one. In the bottom. Far left. No, not that one.
Yokes up. Yo, what you guys doing today?
Our posters.
Our posters. Go
Right there,
down.
right
Yeah.
there.
No, go to the left. Right,
Right,
there.
this
Thank you.
You're going to be all right, brothers.
Read it again.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed. Now, you might think that when I say Negroes in Egypt, you think I'm talking about just African Americans alone. Get me the video with Glenn Black. So that's why the scholar says that the Negroes was relegated to the same position in ancient Egypt as they are in America. Right. And when we say Negro, it's encompassing all 12 tribes. Right. Because we all experience the same type of servitude in each captivity. Now play that video with Glenn Black.
Natives and Hispanic. You are Negroes.
Exactly. You're the same people as us.
We don't have to keep saying and repeating and saying Hispanics. And no, when we speak of Negro, by now the common understanding should be those three groups of people.
Exactly.
Right?
Now play that.
Is made up of 606 feet, 606 feet, 606 feet, 606 feet. 606. It's made up of stades, exactly the same. Now, if that's not interesting enough, look at the angle of the Great Pyramid of Giza. If you take the angle of the Great Pyramid of Giza, the slope is 51.8 degrees. Let's go back to the earthworks. If you measure the line that goes straight through the center of the structure, right here, and then you go true north, it's 51.8 degrees. That angle is exactly the same angle as the pyramids of Giza. It is the same math, the same calculations as ancient Egyptians. Let me show you one more connection. In 1860, David Wyrick, he's a guy who surveyed the Newark earthworks. He was digging into a mound near those earthworks and he found a wooden coffin made of oak. They opened up the coffin and found a skeleton of a man holding a little box that was about 8.10 inches in size. The box had been cemented shut here. This, by the way, is sitting in Ohio. Well, he opened up the box and he found a little man inside, a little black stone. They took it to scholars and they looked at it. The man seems to be carrying something, and there's writing here at first they couldn't recognize. The writing is, they thought in 1860, some sort of Hebrew. Well, finally, about 20 years later, they found some rabbis living in the area, and the rabbis looked at that, and they could read it. They said it was an old kind of block Hebrew, and it was a rendition of the Ten Commandments. Now, this is another piece. Block Hebrew, they said they'd never seen anything like it. Mainstream archaeologists at the time called this a hoax. But then in 1900, or just about after 1900, in Israel, they found the same block-style Hebrew writing. Mainstream archaeologists still dismissed the findings. They found it in Israel, and they found it in Ohio. But there was another stone that they found that they couldn't argue. This is the Bat Creek stone. It was found during the course of an official Smithsonian evacuation. The Smithsonian didn't understand the meaning of the writing on the stone. They thought it was Cherokee, since it came from Cherokee country. They didn't realize.
That's it. So, what does that show you? Not only did the Negroes, there's clear evidence of the Negroes living in Egypt, building the ancient Egyptian pyramids, but also the Native American Indians, as well as the Mexicans, the Aztecs, and Mayans. All of them built pyramids. They even found pyramids in Puerto Rico with Hebrew writings on stones. So all of us experienced that came out of Egypt. So not just the Negroes only. When I mention Negroes, I mention all 12 tribes. So that's clear evidence and yokes of iron upon our neck. Now, get me Deuteronomy, get me Revelations, chapter 11, verse 8. So when you see some of the things that we experience in America, we think that everything that we're doing is new. that's never been done before, where everything is just coming out of nowhere. We invented this. We created this. We were the musicians. Every captivity, we come back and we repeat the same actions all over again. The entertainers always relegated to a position of servitude. We built a lot of the pyramids. We built the treasure cities in Ramses and Python, just like we built ancient Greek, some of the artifacts or some of the architecture, Rome, Europe, as well as America. Nothing different. Now, Revelation chapter 11, verse 8.
Revelation chapter 11, verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
So America, which is that great city, Babylon the Great, is spiritually called what?
Sodom and Egypt.
Spiritually called Sodom because America takes on all the attributes of Sodom and Gomorrah. Just like when you see under the Obama administration when they passed gay rights for gay marriages. So spiritually called Sodom and what?
And Egypt.
And spiritually also called Egypt because of our servitude that we had in ancient Egypt. And not only that, but America takes on also the same attributes, the gods, and the worshiping of ancient Egypt. Can you show me that on the back of the dollar bill? So it says spiritually Sodom as well as in Egypt. America is a new Egypt today. That's why you see your songs in Katy Perry, Beyonce, they always go back to the Sphinx. They always go back to the ancient Egyptian art, the worship of the ancient Egyptian god, the all-seeing eye of Ra. So now let's look at the back of the dollar bill. This is called spiritual Egypt. You have the eagle on one hand and the pyramid with the all-seeing eye of Ra on the other hand, showing you our position in captivity never changed. And the people within that position of captivity came back and remained the same, doing the same thing, experiencing the same incidences. Now, let's go to Isaiah chapter 19, verse 1. So now another thing. Not only did America take on the attributes of ancient Egypt as well as the same servitude, have the children of Israel in slavery, so-called Negroes as in ancient Egypt, but they also took on the worship of ancient Egyptian gods. They recycle it, they refurbish it, and package it, and they commercialize it, and they make them into the businesses, your corporations, that you think that you're just going to shop at, but no, it's the same thing. America just commercializes it, and it makes it more alluring, an acceptable society, so that why? That's why it's called the city of darkness, the city of confusion, or the darkness shall cover the earth. How can you see in a place that's so dark and full of obscurity? You can't. Read that.
Isaiah chapter 19, verse 1. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence.
So this is talking about not ancient Egypt, but this is actually talking about the new Egypt, which is America. Read it again.
The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud.
That's talking about Christ. He rideth upon a swift chariot. Go on.
And shall come into Egypt.
And shall come into America. Go on.
And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence.
And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at Christ's coming in his presence. Get me Zechariah chapter 13, verse 2. Because Bishop made a statement during Passover last year that America has more gods and worship more gods than they of ancient Egypt. They made a god out of everything. They made a god out of a bull. They made a god out of a frog. Sobek, you have crocodile god. They made a god out of Mother Nature, Isis, Horus, and Seth. Everything in Egypt was made as a god. America did the same thing. So when America says in God we trust, it's not the God that you and I think of. It's not the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Right.
It's the God of the idols. No, I don't want that yet. Get me Zechariah chapter 13. We're going to get to that. Have that ready. Zechariah 13, 2.
Zechariah chapter 13, verse 2. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will cut off the names of the idols out of the land, and they shall no more be remembered. And also I will cause the prophets and the unclean spirit to pass out of the land.
So God, it's going to come a day when God is going to cut out all the idols out of the land in America. Everything's an idol. Your phone's an idol. The clothing that you wear, your name brands are all idols. The TV shows that you watch is idols. The superheroes that you grew up with are all idols. Right. And we're worshiping a lot of these gods unknowingly, ignorantly, thinking that, oh, no, I'm talking about brothers and sisters, even still in this truth, are worshiping idols that we're ignorant to, that we think just everyday living. But America has the ability and the art to be able to disguise it right before our eyes. Now, get me Exodus chapter 12, verse 12.
Exodus chapter 12, verse 12. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. And against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord.
So Christ is going to do the same thing as the destroyer that he did last time under ancient Egyptian captivity. He's going to execute what?
I will execute judgment. I am the Lord.
And it says both man and beast. And against all the gods of Egypt, I will execute judgment. So the same thing Christ did in the past under the ancient Egyptian captivity, it's the same thing Christ is going to do in the future under the new spiritual Egypt, which is America. He's going to execute all the gods of America. Now, you think I'm just capping. I'm just putting out there saying that, oh, no, America has more gods. You're thinking that white Jesus, that alone. That's the only God you worship. No, let's get to it. Let's see all the gods of America that they mask under name brands in different corporations that you had no clue of. You thought just honest. Oh, they're just trying to make an honest living.
Damn, Cap, you got to mess their heads up right now.
Yep.
All right. The 30 best brands with Greek mythology logos and names. All right. Would it be crazy to believe that brands inspired by Greek mythology use Greek mythology logos and names in the hope that they will summon the power of the Greek gods?
Wait. Read that again. Come on. Let's read that again slowly.
Would it be crazy to believe that brands inspired by Greek mythology use Greek mythology logos and names in the hope that they will summon the power of the Greek gods?
That's the whole purpose of naming these Greek. All I say, it says, inspired by Greek mythology, use Greek mythology logos and names to summon the power of the Greek gods. That's what says all the gods of the nations are idols. When Christ comes back on the scene, he's going to destroy all of their idols. He's going to remove them out of the way, just like he did in ancient Egypt. And he's doing that today. He's making a mockery by these plagues, but and destroying their gods in their mind. Go on.
Money, prestige, and fame will then follow. Well, if you find that hard to believe, you will most likely have a change of opinion after you see all of these amazing brands. Greek myth-based brands can be found everywhere, from small businesses to large companies, from consumer products to famous car companies. Some of the most famous brands in the world today have taken their names straight out of Greek mythology. Car companies, computer companies, food businesses, and on and on. There are brands named after the Greek gods and brands linked to various names in Greek mythology. Businesses and products use Greek mythology logos to attract attention, even without having a name associated with Greek mythology. For example, the logo could be a trident, such as the striking logo used on Maserati luxurious vehicles. A trident even appears on labels for sauce bottles, as you will soon see.
But we go by our everyday living, not paying attention to these things, because why? We've been assimilated to Greek culture or American ancient Egyptian culture, and we turn a blind side because now we're coming to the truth, our eyes being open to the truth of things. But think about it. We're just coming across certain things that we've been accustomed to. It's been part of our social norm, and it's being normalized to society that we don't even think to do some research. Man, wait a minute. Let me see. What association does it have with ancient Egyptian history? Remember, America is a conglomerate of all ancient cultures packaged in one called United States.
Right.
That's what America, that's what United States. United States of Babylon, Babylon the Great, the land of great confusion. Bringing all nations and cultures and languages together as one. Bringing all God and customs and laws together as one.
Right.
That's how they're able to have you in a trick bag. You think you found one, Caesar? Oh, no. They said, we got 100 other different gods that you're worshiping that you don't even know. Your cell phone. The shows you watch. The heroes that you look at. Go on.
Some of the best companies in the world make use of Greek mythology. The big one, of course, is Nike.
The big one, of course, is Nike, the god Nike. Go down. Number 1.
Goodyear.
Oh, your Goodyear tires. You never knew that. You just thought you was buying tires.
Dang. The winged foot logo you can see between Goodyear is actually the winged foot of Hermes, the Greek god of travelers.
To represent your tire company. Goodyear, the Greek god Hermes. Go on.
Goodyear is a multi... you want to go down to the next? Number 2, Ajax. Ajax was one of the heroes in Greek mythology who took part in the Trojan War. He was considered second only to the Greek hero Achilles in strength and bravery.
But you would never know that. The Ajax.
Thought you just cleaning your toilet.
Clean your toilet. Listen, it says every one of their thoughts is deep. They says, okay, if I can't have them in a trick bag when it comes to religion, I'm going to get them in the brands that they kill each other for. Your name brand clothing, your Gucci, your Pradas. You know, even the clothes that you wear, your Coogee, your Gucci, your Prada, your
Balenciaga.
Your Balenciaga.
Hey, Cap, we might have to give Ajax a pass because we do need something to clean all the bullshit that they instill in us. You know what I'm saying? We're going to need him. We need to clean up the bullshit.
Exactly. And this is the thing. And black people will work or kill themselves their whole lives to make that dollar. And what is it to do? They'll kill each other. They'll murder each other. They'll rob each other. They'll sell drugs to each other. For what? To get that big chain. And the chain that they always get is the Jesus piece. Or they'll rob you of your Nike shoes, your Jordans. They will stand, let me tell you this. They will stand online overnight for Nikes, for your Jordans. Jordans is just from the Nike brand. I'll say it again. Jordan extends from the Nike brand. They will stand online all night. That's it, the worshiping of idols. Right. You might not think of it, but those brothers that have those hundreds of shoe collections of Nikes, guess what? That's the idol that you place on your feet after the god Hermes or Nike. Go on.
Number 3, Golden Fleece. Jason and the Argonauts went in search of the mysterious golden fleece in Greek mythology.
Go down.
Venus, having a brand name after a Greek goddess, is a no-brainer. So when a useful product is named after Venus, the goddess of love and beauty, it's going to attract quite a bit of attention, especially from women.
Go down.
Mobile.
Oh, you thought you were just getting gas. Go on.
Pegasus is the flying horse from Greek mythology.
Pegasus is the flying horse from Greek mythology. But you drive by it every day. You never even associate the two. No, nobody has. None of us. We go about life living thinking that, everything's okay. This is a brand that they made up. There's nothing new that's created. Go on.
Pandora. Pandora is the all-gifted woman in Greek mythology.
The music that you listen to, Pandora.
She also happens to be the first human woman created by Hephaestus on the instructions of Zeus.
Okay, go down.
Olympic Games. The Olympic Games began in ancient Greece, so the Olympic flame lighting ceremony always starts at the archaeological site at Olympia in the western part of the Peloponnese. Maserati.
Oh, that car. Like our brothers Andrew Tate and all, you got a Bugatti. You don't got a Bugatti. You got a Maserati.
Right.
Look at my car collection. That's the God in which he worshiped. Now, we love our brother. Like I said, he's caught up and things they got to repent for, a lot of things they got to repent for, but even the cars that he brags about or boasts about. When you boast and bragging about these cars, this is a car to get you from one point to the next point, but when you boast about them, you make it your God. Because rather than inspiring to take care of your house, make money, or get a career, be successful so that what? You can provide for your household as well as your nation. A lot of people are aspiring to make money in order to provide for their lusts or for the gods they want to obtain, like your Maserati, your Bugatti, your Lexus, your BMWs, your Lamborghini. These are all ancient Greek gods that you put your money. Even the Olympics, as mentioned earlier. A lot of black women, guess what? They will abort their baby. A lot of athletes abort their children in order for that Olympic gold medal. And it's highly known within, like I said, the athletes community. These basketball players, most of your women in sports, notice how you barely see them pregnant. Because if they do get pregnant, they kill the baby for that title. They're killing it in what? They're paying and they're offering it up as a sacrifice to the gods which they're playing for. For that god, that gold medal. For the Olympic gods. For your Hermes. For your Zeus. Your Aphrodites. That's what they're killing the baby for. Go on.
Trojan condoms.
Mm-hmm. To commit your fornication. Some of you says, you know what? I got the protection of God on my rod. He's going to protect. God says, the God of the Bible says, marriage is honorable and all, and a bed undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers, God's a judge. The Negro says, I got the God of Trojan. He's going to protect me. All I got to do is wrap him up around my rod, and he's going to protect me from the judgment that your God says he's going to put on me for adultery and fornication. That's the God in which you trusted. When you go commit your fornication, brother or sister, you go and have a sneaky link, and you go lay down with that brother. You say, do you got a condom? That's to protect against the judgment that what your God said in the Bible will happen if you lay down with that individual. So he says, I'm going to trust in Mr. Trojan. Trojan horse.
Trojan man.
Yeah, Trojan man. Trojan man. Read a little bit about Trojan.
The Trojan War had it all, including Helen of Troy, a wooden horse, and Cassandra. The condom brand is obviously trying to keep a Trojan safe behind a wall of rubber.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
Or could it be that the consumer product brand is doing its best to stop the Greeks from getting inside the impenetrable walls?
Oh, damn.
All right, go down.
Mercury car. Hermes, otherwise known as Mercury, is a Greek and Roman god.
Now go down. Mercury car.
The Grand Marquis.
Mm-hmm. Go down.
Go down.
Oh, don't be throwing shots. You guys always throw shots like I'm the king of shots. Like I don't know.
I wasn't even going to say that.
I'm your disciple, Cap.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of, too. When it came out there.
That's the worst.
Captain, don't worry, we are subjected to those things. We all wear them.
Nike.
Y'all love that car, too. Damn. I worship with the Grand Marquis.
Nah, it's a good car.
Cap, we got to push that in the river now.
We have a member on the team. That's all he wears. Nike.
Nike.
Damn.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's all he wears? Okay.
Nike, the most famous sporting brand of all time, is named after Nike, the Greek goddess of victory.
Mm-hmm. Just do it.
Phil Knight founded Nike in the 60s. Incredibly, the famous logo is one of the cheapest designs of all time, considering the huge payback, as he only paid $35
Jeez.
for the famous Nike swoosh logo.
Only $35, but he makes billions.
He probably
off
worth
of you, Negro.
$35 trillion of that damn.
Jesus.
He went to a college student.
Uh-huh. But what
Graphic
they
design.
do? They conjure up the gods, the ancient gods.
And he was inspired to name it that because he had went to Greece and visited the temple of
Wow.
Nike.
A temple of Nike. So he conjured his gods of his ancestors, which are no gods. Read when it says before Nike.
Before Nike, it was called Blue Ribbon Sports, which proves that rebranding to the name of a Greek goddess can perform miracles.
Wow. Yep. Go down. Olympus camera.
Olympus camera. The 12 Greek gods were said to live on Mount Olympus, the highest mountain in Greece. This is where a lot of the magic happened.
Hey,
Mount Olive.
Is that in the Maccabees?
Yeah.
Olympus?
Yeah. Yep. Go down.
NASA Apollo 13 mission.
Oh, NASA Apollo 13 mission. Go on.
The Apollo 13 commander, Jim Lovell, sketched the Greek god Apollo driving his chariot across the sky while dragging the sun. He then gave the ideal to another artist who came up. That's it.
Go ahead.
He then gave the ideal to another artist who came up with the 3-horse design. It symbolized Apollo riding across the sky towards the moon.
Go down.
Versace, Medusa. Damn. I didn't know she was on that. Medusa was the snake-haired Gorgon who turned anyone who dared to look at her.
You're Versace that you kill each other or that you sell yourself for. Go on. Now go down.
Atlassian.
Oh, go here. Atlassian. That's a famous computer software program.
Atlassian. Atlas, the Titan, held up the heavens in Greek mythology.
Now go down. Look at it. Look at his logo.
Go to the logo. Wow.
Go up.
Starbucks. Sirens from Greek mythology lured sailors to their death.
Jeez.
The Starbucks logo has been confirmed as a siren by Starbucks. Details about the siren logo have been taken from Starbucks stories and news website. Here's an extract.
Now go down.
That's Diana the Ephesians, Astro.
Yep, the same God being recycled.
Back it up real quick.
ISIS.
This is what? The siren is like a what? A super what?
Mermaid.
Is it that where they get some Hebrew Israelite BHI talk about
mermaids?
Books? Some books.
About mermaids, existence, sirens? Yeah, I heard about that.
Right.
Yeah, in the book of Enoch.
The book of Enoch.
Yep. Greek mythology. Go down.
Medical logo, the symbol of medicine. The caduceus is in the staff of Mercury, the Roman god of liars.
Damn.
Wow.
Wait. Read that again.
The caduceus.
Get me Job 13:6.
Is in the staff of Mercury, the Roman god of liars.
Wait, read it again slowly. I want to show you something.
Wow.
Come on, read it.
The caduceus is in the staff of Mercury, the Roman god of liars.
Read that. Job 13:6.
Job chapter 13, verse 6. Hear now my reasoning, and hearken to the pleadings of my lips.
Is that it?
No,
Forged liars.
Yeah,
Forged
come on.
liars. Forge of lies.
Is that 12?
Physician of
Forge.
Get that in Job. Is it 12 and 6?
physician of no value.
Job 13 and 4.
Job chapter 13, verse 4. But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value.
But ye are, read it again.
But the caduceus is in the staff of Mercury, the Roman god of liars.
Read it again, officer.
But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value.
So the medical practice is all based upon the Roman god of lies. That's why God says that. Go on. Go to the next one.
Mercury Marine.
Okay, go to the next one.
Orion Pictures.
Orion Pictures. Let's go to the next one.
Poseidon Nickel Limited.
Okay, these are old companies that nobody paid attention to. Okay, Amazon.
Amazon. The Amazons were fierce warrior women from Greek mythology.
That's why our wives are always having their packages in an Amazon basket.
Oh, man.
Every day you get a damn
shopping
Amazon
cart.
Yeah, shopping cart every single day. Like, give me the wallet.
These days, Amazon is one of the most feared companies in the world.
Now, Hermes. Okay, I never heard that. Keep going.
Prometheus Entertainment.
Okay, I heard of that. You can read that.
This entertainment brand is based on the Greek myth of Prometheus. You can even see a flame rising above the letter M.
Okay.
Prometheus gave fire to the people, whereas this brand brought entertainment to the people.
Go down.
Trident Food.
Okay, nobody eats that. Go down. Asus. Okay, Asus.
Computer.
I got an Asus computer. What the hell?
I got one too.
You too? Read that.
We're going to gather all these things and throw them out.
Bonfire.
We're just going to look at each other. We'll look at the wall.
I have to build the bonfire, Cat. Well, sorry.
Read that.
Believe it or not, Asus is derived from Pegasus, the winged horse from Greek mythology.
Wow.
So Asus arrives from Pegasus, the winged horse.
Just like the peg out.
Yeah. Just
Asus.
Yeah.
Wow.
Go down.
Mobile used the whole logo.
Zeus.
The Aces logo is even meant to be shaped like Pegasus. In Greek mythology, Pegasus symbolized wisdom and knowledge.
Damn, computer. Damn.
The Midas touch.
Midas.
Damn.
Wow.
Everything that King Midas touched turned to gold in Greek mythology.
Yeah, I drive by. I would never have known Midas touch.
Yeah, never that one. Damn.
Subaru.
Jesus.
Wow.
Subaru, what the hell?
Man.
Yo, this is what it's talking about gross darkness.
Darkness.
Man.
That's the
everywhere.
That thing, I guess that's why they invented light, because this place is so dark. They had to invent light.
Subaru is the Japanese name for the Pleiades star cluster. In Greek mythology, the Pleiades were companions of Artemis. They were the 7 daughters of the Titan Atlas and the sea nymph Pleione, born on Mount Cyllene.
All right, go to the next one.
Perseus Books Group.
Okay, go down. Nobody reads that. Yeah, nobody cares about forests.
That's a florist.
Eugene Airline. Nobody hears about that.
That's it.
All right, that's it. All right, now go to the heroes. The superheroes, the 15 superheroes. We're just about done.
Top 15 superheroes inspired from Greek mythology and comics.
And guess what? Our children, I'll say it again, I worshipped it. When we put it on for every so-called Halloween, you put on your Spider-Man outfit, your Power Ranger outfit, your Superman. Every child wants to aspire to be one of these superheroes.
Hey, Cap, can I say one thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
I apologize. Majority of these kids come in here in the school with a Spider-Man, a figurine, and other so-called superheroes.
We're training them to worship these gods.
And they're playing with them in the school.
Hey, so maybe we need to make some toys of King David.
Yep. That's what we need to do.
King Solomon.
Hey, there it goes. Hey, listen. Hey, I can't do it. I don't have the skill set, but that's a message for those of you brothers and sisters that have a skill set. So he made a suggestion. Our kids aspire or look up to these superheroes that are actually ancient Greek or Egyptian gods. Right. So rather than our kids, now I understand kids like to be entertained. They like those stuff like that. Right. You know, superheroes and things like that. Even us, we watch it, Justice League, we watch Superman because it's entertaining. You know, time passed by. So what we can do, Israel, to combat this, little by little in increments, start introducing, like you said, these toys, King David's.
The black dolls. With
dolls.
With long dresses.
Right. Yep. And we're starting to do it, you know, with Watch and Read. Right. So we understand Israel. Don't know, it's a time. It takes time and takes a process. It's a process to it. So little by little, those of you that got that talent, that artistic ability, if you could do it within a time, let's aspire to make brands to shape them after our biblical forefathers. Right. So that kids think, oh, I got King David. Oh yeah, he's killing the Philistine. Right. Oh yeah. Or we can have Judith. Or the young girls can have Judith dolls.
Wow.
You know.
There you go.
We gotta have one of Christ.
Yeah,
it's gotta be the first one.
Exactly. The first one got to be of Christ. Yep. So that's just, you know, we just put it out there. We don't I understand. Oh, so we can't watch Spider-Man. We didn't say that. We just saying that little by little, incrementally, we got to start introducing these things to our kids. Now, we're starting. Because I saw my daughter the other day. She was watching this, not even IUIC. There's another Israelite groups that they have actual TV shows. Not TV shows, the little kids shows. Right. Yeah, that she was watching it's a series. I said, oh, wow. And she goes to watch it every day. And she's like, Daddy, I want to watch the brown people today. And in it, there's talk about Mother's Day, Father's Day, evil and wicked, and all of that. So it's a great show. So I'm looking at it, wow, this is good stuff.
Okay.
So this is a starter thing, having and we, not just IUIC. Don't expect IUIC to do it. All you Israelite camps, like I said, everywhere that has people that has gifts and talents and production and media, start making children's shows, educational shows. We don't have to be the only people. So this is for the whole nation. So we got to use and put our collective talents together, Israel, so that we can support our children and take them away from the worship of these gods. Because that's what they're doing. We're actually worshiping these things, and we don't even know it.
Yeah, remember, images means a lot.
And this is how you know we worship it. There's a barbershop I went to around my way, and on the walls, they have hundreds of toy figures of the Justice League and all that. They got posters. I'm looking, I'm like, why is it all on the wall? I mean, around 4 corners of the wall. Right. Hundreds of toys of these superheroes. Those are the gods that they worship, and they put it on their wall.
Damn.
Go on. Let's see the superheroes.
Go down. The top 15 superheroes inspired from Greek mythology and comics. You have Aphrodite, Artemis, Hippolyta, Hercules, Ares, Iron Man, Hades, Poseidon, Nyx, Zeus, Wonder Woman, Superman, Aquaman, Thor, and Black Bolt.
And also, you have Batman.
I love that. Damn.
I know.
Man, look at
he messed me up.
He
Man.
loving his idol. He said, I
Uh-huh.
just love
He said Iron Man twice too. He's like,
Iron
Iron Man.
Look, man.
So
let it go, Jez.
He caught himself out there.
Yeah, let it go, bro.
So we're gonna end it on that note, all right, Israel. So that's actually gonna conclude a chapter of Negro history in ancient Greece. So if you didn't know, if you didn't understand, if you weren't inclined to this type of information, now you know. So you can present it to any Egyptologist as well as any Kemet, anybody within the Kemetic community. You could bring them these books, show them through the Bible, the scriptures that no, Israelites or Negroes were always slaves subjugated to a position of servitude. But they weren't the pharaohs. They weren't your King Tuts. They weren't your Ramses. They weren't your Tutmosis, your Akhenaten. They weren't your Hatshepsut. They weren't your Nefertiti. These are not the gods, or these are not our forefathers and foremothers, but these were our slave owners. And we were the slaves, placed in the same position. So it's important, it's imperative, brothers and sisters, that we study to read. That's why our Hidden History show is to reveal the lies and the mystery of our history. All right? So.
Yep. Hey, let's give Cap a round of applause for excellent class. Shout out to the cast. Shout out to IT. The kitchen team.
Yep, all praise to
always
IT and the kitchen
delivering
team.
that good meal.
Yep. Thank you, sisters.
Got leadership giving hiccups during the class. That's how you know the meal was good. All right. So we're going to get into the announcement. Hey, shout out to our viewers. We see a lot of you listening. Don't forget to like. We have a lot of viewers on, but we got like very minimal likes. So that's part of supporting. If you're watching, hit the like button and share also. That also.
All praise to the Most High. Let's give another round of applause to the Father and His Son for pouring out His Spirit upon our leadership to bring this information out so we can learn our true history. Do not forget to subscribe to Our Hidden History Radio Show on YouTube, IUIC Philadelphia as well on YouTube, and IUIC Philadelphia in the Classroom. If you want to give alms and donate, you could donate via PayPal for OHH. You're going to donate to iuic.philadelphiaisraelunite.org. The donations that you do provide helps us buy these books so we could bring this information out. And also, don't forget to donate to the Booster Club, because money is a defense, as the scripture says, that we need money in order to preach the word in the four corners of the earth like Christ commanded us. Also, last but not least, subscribe to IUIC TV to get exclusive content from the leadership of IUIC.
Hey, Cap, let me play just one last thing. All right, we want to give a shout out to Original Royalty Recording. Not only that, the world is listening to the word of the Most High, they also listen to our music. We want to play a video just to prove that on a cruise ship that the heathen are listening to Original Royalty Recording.
Some of our people too.
Okay. Some of our people too, yeah, but you know,
unrepentant of our people.
It's back
but
to
the
what
world
you
is
said, Cap.
listening, huh?
Like the things we do here in IUIC is not just for IUIC.
Right.
We're doing this, you know, the music, even this show, for everybody to hear.
Exactly.
You'll play that?
Scripture says faith come by hearing and hearing the word of God.
Travel. Give me two. It can't no destruction. It's a let's go. All right. Let's travel. Let's go. Good job, y'all. Good job.
All praises.
Hey, wow. want to give a shout out to original royalty recording artist Deacon Isaac.
All praises.
Jack it up. All praises to the Most High.
All right, that's it.
With that, Israel, we say shalom.
Shalom. See you next week, Lord's will.